latest from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Good morning. I'm Jillian Raftery, and your top stories today. We're continuing to follow wildfires east of the mountains and how that's impacting your air quality. Winds picked up overnight, flushing some of that smoke away. The weather pattern is expected to stick around until next week, so get your hiking and running before then. The man suspected of setting the Old Trails fire near Spokane was in court yesterday. His defense team is asking for a competency evaluation to see if he is fit to stand trial. That fire destroyed hundreds of structures earlier this year. More regulatory scrutiny for Boeing. The FAA is ordering inspections of hundreds of Boeing 737 MAX jets after reports of cracks near a galley door opening. The Softball Little League World Series continues today, and a team from Snohomish made the quarterfinals. First pitch against Florida is noon. It's 5:03, and we turn to Ted Beener for your traffic.
All right, good morning, everybody. I'm looking at northbound I-5 in Tacoma. Something going on there. Don't have anything on the cams, but I do see some flashing lights off in the distance. This is just north of State Route 512, and before you get to that 74th, 72nd interchange. So be aware of that if that is part of your commute. Otherwise, your roads throughout the Puget Sound region are moving pretty well this morning. We don't have any other reported blocking issues. Some drive times, Everett to Seattle, Bellevue, both of those are just under a half hour. Coming in from the south end, Olympia, Tacoma is just over 30 minutes. Federal Way to Seattle, 22 minutes. Puyallup to Renton, it's wonderful at 28 minutes. And Renton to Bellevue, excellent at 11 minutes. And a reminder, northbound 405 will close for road work from Sunset to Coal Creek Parkway from 11:30 p.m. tonight to early Monday morning. A signed detour will be in place, and southbound 405 will remain open. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Ted Beener.
And your weather forecast for today. There is a heat advisory in effect. We're going to have a high of 83 degrees, a low overnight of 60 degrees. Even so, that is some relief from the smoke we've seen over the last few days. Saturday, 79, high 57. We're going to be clear skies until all the way through next week when clouds roll in. It's 60 degrees right now in downtown Seattle. I'm Jillian Raftery.
News matters. Experience counts. You're listening to Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
On this morning's edition of Start Here, ABC's Luis Martinez talks with host Michelle Franzen about the growing concerns as the U.S. air defense missile stockpile decreases. Here you are.
We'll start with the ongoing hostilities between the U.S. and Iran and a new consideration facing President Trump as he weighs a possible new large-scale attack against Iranian targets if Iran, he says, doesn't reopen the Strait of Hormuz and finalize a peace deal.
We're not going to the hell out of it. Not going to the hell. I'd rather make a deal because I don't want to kill people. I do not want to kill people.
There is growing concern that U.S. munition stockpiles, including air defense missiles, have dropped to critical levels since the start of the war. Yesterday, after initially downplaying the reports, President Trump acknowledged that the supply of some munitions is a little bit tighter, but says the U.S. is receiving a steady supply of those materials.
We have certain types of munitions that are very powerful, that we have virtual unlimited supply. We have others where it's a little bit tighter, and we're getting them in on a daily basis.
The depleted stockpiles sparking a debate within the Trump administration and on Capitol Hill. ABC senior Pentagon reporter Luis Martinez starts us off. Louis, what do we know about these internal discussions going on within the Trump administration?
Well, Michelle, one of the things that we do know from U.S. officials is that, yes, they are concerned that there are very low amounts of air defense missiles. We're talking about Patriot missiles. We're talking about THAAD missiles. These are missiles that intercept ballistic missiles at what's called terminal high altitude. So, yes, up in the space as they're on their way down. And U.S. officials, they are concerned. I mean, one characterized the levels of those two missiles as being extremely low. Now, that means that they have enough in the inventory right now, but enough to be drawing concerns.
We say, hey, we're running out of munitions. We could be emboldening Iran to launch against us.
So there have been some public estimates that maybe the U.S. had about maybe 2,500 Patriot missiles at the start of this conflict with Iran. We have heard from at least one U.S. official who says that the U.S. has gone through at least 2/3 of that. With regards to the THAAD missiles, we've been told that maybe more than half of the missiles that were available at the start of the war have been depleted or used against Iran.
Well, the reports are concerning, and obviously that's why we need to do more to make sure that our military has the funding it needs.
Yes, there have been internal discussions about how to fix this, and we've seen publicly that the Pentagon has been announcing these deals with some of the major contractors that make these weapons, very sophisticated weapons, and they take a long time to build. Sometimes an individual missile can take maybe 1 to 2 years to make.
Wow.
Partly because there are so many companies that are involved, and I think there may be 400 companies that are involved in trying to make all the individual parts that go into a Patriot missile.
Because we need more all the time. I mean, we need more. Look, we gave tremendous amount to Ukraine. The Biden people did.
And what the Pentagon has been doing is they realize that they're using these missiles. They're using these missiles against Iran. They know that they've been used by Ukraine. So there is a shortfall, and they have to make it up quick.
And we know that the war with Iran, renewed hostilities, is now in its 6th month. We know that they began negotiations in June, but there have been skirmishes along the way. The president has also been ramping up threats and rhetoric about carrying out a large-scale attack. So how does this make a difference when we're dealing with low levels of stockpiles?
Michelle, it's definitely a factor because we are talking about a good defense. When you have a great offense, a good defense is also needed because you're going to be receiving incoming fire as retaliatory attacks, and that's actually what we've seen from Iran. Whenever there's been this tit for tat, the Iranians have been launching missiles and drones at U.S. bases or partner nations in the region. And it's been these kinds of missiles that have been providing the protection. And so we know exactly, as you said, that a few weeks ago when President Trump was contemplating ramping up the level of attacks against Iran, we know that Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Dan Kane, one of the factors that he brought up with the president was the levels of munitions and the concerns that there might not be enough in the region. But he's also thinking holistically. He's worrying about the United States' military posture around the world. And so he's also thinking, do we have enough that could put us at risk elsewhere? I think one of the big things, obviously, that this administration has been really focused on is the Indo-Pacific, Asia, the Asian theater of operations. So, yes, that one of the factors that was presented to the president a few weeks ago about potentially going back in to operations against Iran and ramping them up was essentially that. Are we putting ourselves at risk? Because, yes, the risk of retaliatory strikes from Iran has been present throughout this whole conflict. And if we ramp up our operations, will they in turn ramp up their operations, putting our forces at risk?
And we know President Trump has pushed back that there's a shortage of munitions, saying that there's a massive amounts that are available to use. Secretary Pete Hegseth also on Capitol Hill testifying, asking for billions in more funding so they can build and replenish at the same time. Can the U.S. ramp up production to replenish?
Well, I think the administration is convinced that they can ramp up production, but the question is under what timeline? Is there enough time right now, if the hostilities were to drag on, that where the United States would be able to produce more of these air defense systems at speed? And that's the really big question.
And we're using munitions that are very powerful, very good, but we wouldn't have been using them. We could have used something else. But these are a little bit older type, equally as effective.
Missiles have shelf lives. So when you near the end of a shelf life, you replace them with a newer missile. Well, those older missiles are kept in reserve. So could it be that what the administration is talking about is that potentially bringing some of those older missiles into the supply system so that then they can be used and make up any shortfall? Now, we're not really sure that that's actually taking place, but theoretically it could be.
So lawmakers also have to sign off on this defense budget. And when they do, what kinds of concerns are we hearing from both congressional leaders, Democrats and Republicans?
Well, we heard from the Senate Majority Leader, Senator John Thune, the Republican, who said, yes, he's concerned about the reports that the inventory of air defense missiles is down. But he's also looking at it through a political lens, saying that, this is a very serious situation, and it should not be politicized.
It's always a dangerous situation when we've got debates about military funding get politicized.
But what we've seen already from the administration is with the request for, they wanted $67 billion more as part of a supplemental to pay for all the ammunition that they've already expended and to get newer versions of missile systems or other weapons programs that have been weapons programs that potentially may no longer be used or have been expended against Iran. But they're not finding a lot of full support. And so you've seen a lot of lobbying taking place personally by Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth up on Capitol Hill. And it's not a slam dunk for the administration that those funds are going to be given by Congress to make up any of these shortfalls that we're seeing. There is definitely support for making up whatever shortfalls there are in terms of inventories, but it's not a slam dunk that the administration is going to get the large amounts that they actually want.
Lots of unanswered questions as the hostilities continue between the U.S. and Iran. Louis, thank you.
Thanks, Michelle.
Military leaders are always assessing the risk of war and conflict, especially when it comes to the lives of U.S. troops, military personnel, and civilians. Since the war began with Iran, the Pentagon has implemented changes on how it records injuries and casualties through its official database. ABC's Steve Bainan covers the Pentagon and joins us. Steve, first of all, what is the casualty count that we know from this public-facing database?
Right now, the official count of U.S. troops killed and wounded in Iran is 18 killed and 689 wounded. And this comes from the Pentagon has a public-facing database. This is what we're talking about. The Defense Casualty Analysis System. People listening in can look at this themselves. It has an accounting of the killed and wounded of all major conflicts going back to the First World War. And this is the federal government's official accounting for all those conflicts. Our understanding of the human toll in all those wars comes from this system.
The Pentagon has changed how it's accounting for the dead in Iran. What is the change?
Well, so let's go back to July 23rd. That's when we noticed 4 troops killed in action and dozens of wounded were removed from this list that had the accounting of troops killed and wounded in Iran. And a day goes by. We asked the Pentagon what was going on. Hey, why are these numbers going down? The acting Pentagon press secretary, Joel Valdez, at the time told us there was a technical problem with what's effectively a spreadsheet behind the scenes. Fast forward to the following Sunday. There's this new category. Originally, everything was categorized under Operation Epic Freedom. That's the namesake the Trump administration has been using for the Iran war. And now there's this second bucket called overseas operations, and all troops killed and wounded since July 7th. That's when those daily hostilities kind of ramped back up with the collapse of that ceasefire, were counted in that bucket separate from the Epic Fury count.
What's the distinction that the Trump administration needs to make also congressionally to support starting those numbers over?
Yeah, so what some experts and what Democrats are saying, the reason they separated these two things before and after the ceasefire, and reminder, there was a lot of fighting during that ceasefire.
To me, I think it's over. I don't want to deal with them and with this scum.
But the administration sees July 7th as this movement almost to an entirely new conflict. That is an unprecedented understanding of how conflicts exist and evolve over time. All wars have different phases, but we've never separated any sort of overall accounting. Think of it as you wouldn't separate Pearl Harbor and D-Day. You just have World War II if you go to the same site that has that count. The Trump administration has maintained that Epic Fury ended in May, and Democrats and some experts around Washington, D.C. will look at that as this sort of dance around the War Powers Act, that Trump can only wage war for 60 days before he needs the consent of Congress. That time was wrapping up a few months ago. So their interpretation of a new conflict, using air quotes here, in July is their attempt to circumvent that.
And Senate Democrats, as you mentioned, are trying to take action, led by Senator Tammy Duckworth of Illinois. Of course, she served, and she introduced legislation to keep the Pentagon from changing how they categorize the casualties.
So what Senator Duckworth's bill does, she has 17 other Democratic co-signers, would be effectively to make the count whole again, give us one accounting for the Iran killed and wounded.
So we've contacted the Pentagon and said this is not acceptable, but it's why I'm introducing a bill to ban the Pentagon from ever doing this again.
And what the issue is here is separating that bucket into overseas operations. That encompasses an entire region called Central Command. The Pentagon separates the world in all these geographic locations. For example, Northern Command would be North America all the way up through Greenland. Central Command, where this war is taking place, includes Egypt and parts of Central and Southern Asia.
So the American people can truly know what the cost of combat operations that we're engaging in it really is.
So any troops who are wounded and killed for any reason can end up in this count, and it could throw it off. If a troop slips on a banana peel in Egypt, hits their head on a table and becomes wounded, they're going to be on this list, and that is why it's very hard to know whether or not the data we're getting is accurate.
And we know that families across the U.S. or the world who have loved ones that are being served are also wanting to have accurate numbers easily accessible as well. Steve Bainan at the Pentagon, thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
More from the Start Here program coming up, but first we have a traffic alert from Ted.
All right, on northbound I-5 near the 74th interchange in Tacoma, we got a crash involving a semi, and up to 10 vehicles has closed the highway. Traffic is being detoured on the 74th exit there. One lane of southbound I-5 is also blocked at the scene. Be aware that take alternates. For instance, take State Route 512 and on over to Valley Highway to get around this scene. I'm Ted Biener with KIRO Newsradio, real-time traffic.
And coming up, a new flu vaccine could make a big difference in the rate of people catching mRNA. More on ABC's Start Here next.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO Newsradio App. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO Newsradio, Northwest News.
This hour of Seattle's Morning News is brought to you by Closets by Design Seattle.
Here it comes, possibly the biggest online midsummer auction anywhere of heavy equipment, trucks, tools, lumber, and much more. Presented by the Murphy Auction Company, bidding is underway now. Featured items include a 2020 Bobcat E32i excavator with less than 1,000 hours, a 2016 Freightliner 2100 Hydrovac truck, a 2011 John Deere 310J 4x4 backhoe, and much more. 10 excavators, 4 backhoes, 11 forklifts, 5 boom and scissor lifts, 5 rollers, 28 golf carts, and more than 60 heavy trucks. But wait, there's more. Attachments, roll-off boxes, shipping containers, contractor tools, lumber, and much more all go into the highest bidder. Preview all items August 11th and 12th, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. at our location in Marysville, 3803 136th Street Northeast. For pictures, catalogs, and all details, visit murphyauction.com. That's murphyauction.com. murphyauction.com.
There couldn't be a better time to save money, and one of the easiest ways to save?
Take the First Mark Challenge.
Molly and I took the First Mark Insurance Challenge, and we saved thousands of dollars the first year with First Mark, and we've been saving ever since.
Same for Mike and I. Here's how First Mark Insurance works for you, not the insurance companies.
They compare rates and coverage from dozens of the top-rated carriers. Then they go to work to find the right coverage at the lowest possible price for your family.
And when you need them, you'll talk to a real person who knows you and who's there to help. That's the kind of world-class service that has kept us with First Mark year after year.
Seriously, wouldn't you like to know if you could be paying less? Take the First Mark Challenge today. It costs you nothing. There's no obligation, and you'll find out just how much money you could be saving every single month.
You could be the next First Mark Challenge victory. They've had over 11,000 of them.
Don't give your insurance company a free raise before you renew. Let First Mark review. Go to firstmarkinsurance.com.
What are you waiting for? Your savings could start tomorrow.
firstmarkinsurance.com.
Be advised, this is your opportunity to save up to 40 to 80% on a hot tub or swim spa. This weekend only, today through Sunday. Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. Be advised, this is your opportunity to save up to 40 to 80% on a hot tub or swim spa. This weekend only, today through Sunday. Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. 18-month interest-free financing. Our factories have demanded we sell 1,000 hot tubs and swim spas this weekend. Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. Huge factory incentives, factory rebates, this weekend only. Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. We can remove your old hot tub. Free delivery of your new hot tub. Deep, deep discounts. Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. Free delivery of your new hot tub. Just relax and enjoy. Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. Today, 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. Saturday, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Sunday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Free admission. Free delivery. Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. Call 833-SPA-SALE or visit hottubandSwimSpaSale.com.
Bringing you Seattle's morning news since 1974. This is KIRO Newsradio.
Back to the Start Here program, ABC's Yuri Benajoud explains Moderna's newly approved mRNA flu vaccine. Here is host Michelle Franzen.
Vaccines have become a hot-button issue since the days of COVID, along with changes led by Health and Human Services Secretary RFK Jr. involving vaccine authorization and availability.
The CDC announcing it's further reducing the number of vaccines it previously recommended for children.
The COVID-19 vaccine is no longer universally recommended.
A new flu shot by Moderna was just given the green light by the FDA. It's called Implusiva and uses Moderna's mRNA technology, and it could become a new tool in the fight against the deadly virus. Last season, the CDC recorded 24,000 deaths for flu and 390,000 hospitalizations. Yuri Benajoud is a medical producer with ABC News, and he joins us now. Yuri, thanks for joining us. What can you tell us about the decision by the FDA?
Well, this is the first time that this mRNA flu vaccine has been approved by the FDA, and it's using that same technology that we saw in the COVID era, with those COVID vaccines, right? It's going to be available for everyone over the age of 50. And in their clinical trial, Moderna found that the vaccine was 27% more effective than that traditional flu shot. But a couple of months ago, the FDA said they're not going to even look at the approval for the shot. Then, recently they reversed course, and now fast forward to this week where you see this flu shot getting approval.
Why do you think they pivoted so much on this? I mean, we know Moderna from COVID days as well, and the mRNA, of course, became a household name for many people. What do you think the outcry was, and did that make an impact on them pivoting?
You have Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. that has been in stark opposition, honestly, in many of these mRNA vaccine technology platforms.
HHS has determined that mRNA technology poses more risks and benefits for these respiratory viruses.
But this is a technology and a platform that has been really exciting for the field of public health. When I talked to scientists, they were really looking forward to this. It can cut down the production time for these vaccines, but mRNA platforms have also been looked into for potential cancer vaccines. So there's a real question as to why there's this opposition, because every doctor and scientist I talk to is really in support of these vaccines because, like I said, they have been found to be safe and effective.
Let's just review a little bit about mRNAs. What are they? What do they do? How does it make it better?
Right. So typically vaccines work by exposing your body to a small, harmless part of a virus, and then your body will fight it and develop some antibodies. mRNA works a little bit differently. It's kind of tricking your body in your cells to make a protein that then develops that same antibody. Now, the benefit here with these mRNA vaccines is that they cut down the time it takes to actually produce the shots. So typically each year, the composition of the flu shot is decided months in advance. All these experts get together, they look at the latest data, they look at the southern hemisphere, that's part of the world that sees flu season before we do, and they decide what strains do we anticipate this next flu season to have. But because it takes months, sometimes that flu strain might not perfectly match what we actually see on the ground.
And we saw that last year, right?
We did see that. We had a variant called subclade K, and that led to a huge surge in hospitalizations and even deaths. You had nearly 300 children that unfortunately died from flu last year. You had hospital wards that were really filling up with patients. And part of the reason for that is the fact that, like you said, the vaccine didn't exactly match that subclade K that we saw at the time. So the idea here is that with this production time shortened, you're going to be able to have vaccines that are made in a quicker timeline and easier to pivot in case a strain does emerge that we need to tackle in the future.
Everyone's so used to getting the flu or knowing somebody who gets the flu every year. How important is it to have this option of a vaccine into the mix?
Well, I think many doctors would argue the more options, the better, right? You have now traditional vaccines that are going to be available this season. You have an mRNA vaccine that's going to be available. You also have a nasal spray that's also available for some. And so when you give consumers more options, they might be more inclined to get that vaccine. And what we've seen time and time again in the data is that these vaccines do reduce the risk of severe illness, including hospitalization and death. And that's what you're really trying to avoid this flu season.
What does Moderna say about this specific vaccine, and who will it be for?
So it's going to be available for everyone over the age of 50. And when they ran their clinical trial, it was found to be 27% more effective than the traditional shot. And like I said, they're hopeful that looking forward to future flu seasons, they're going to be able to cut down that production time. So if there's another strain or they're going to have to quickly pivot like they could have done last year, that will present another option for them.
We also have a new CDC director, Dr. Erica Schwartz, and with flu season right around the corner, how does she play into this decision?
Right, so that's the next step, right? So the FDA is in charge of approving vaccines, and then the CDC is the one that's recommending them. And every year, the CDC has come out and said, we recommend that everyone over the age of 6 months gets the vaccine. And every public health expert and doctor I talk to anticipates and hopes that the CDC is going to make that decision again this year. The weather is going to get colder, kids are going to start flowing back into school, and that is the perfect environment for flu to really spread. And that's when we start to see the flu virus really take off, right? In the winter months, going to the fall, and then even through the spring. So in the weeks ahead, you want to talk to your doctor, talk to your pharmacist about getting that flu vaccine. As you mentioned, this Moderna shot is going to be available for those over the age of 50, but making sure you're having that conversation with your provider and then making sure you're protected, right? Because you want to make sure that you're reducing your risk of any hospitalization and death as we go into the season. And ideally, you're getting that shot before the end of October.
Yeah, we know everyone's still thinking about summer, but it's right around the corner.
It really is.
Yuri, thank you.
Thank you.
It is 5:28. Coming up, Charlie Harger with a commentary. The suspected arson in Spokane reveals a serious problem with our justice system. Charlie elaborates next. This is KIRO News Radio.
Summer is for sunshine.
It's a beautiful day out for baseball here at T-Mobile Park.
Summer is for moonshots.
He just absolutely obliterates this! Multi-homer game, Cole Young!
Summer is for Mariners baseball.
Emerson is racing over, slides off! He makes the catch! Incredible!
So listen for the cheers and follow your ears to T-Mobile Park. Because where else can you travel to on a ferry boat and then eat crab nachos out of a ferry boat?
How sweet it is!
It is the sweetest, Rick. Mariners baseball. Tridents up.
50 season celebration weekend kicks off today with Alumni Home Run Derby Night, presented by Muckleshoot Casino Resort, headlined by the one and only Ichiro. Then don't miss the biggest pregame show in Mariners history tomorrow, presented by Daktronics, as the top 50 greatest players are unveiled. Get your tickets at mariners.com.
Here's the deal. The government is over $38 trillion in debt, which means the IRS isn't slowing down. And the tax code is complex and unforgiving. So it's not surprising if you're one of the millions of Americans that owe back taxes to the IRS. Unfortunately, they're the world's most powerful collection agency, with the ability to garnish your wages, seize your bank accounts, and even take your home or business. But don't be stressed or worried any longer. We're Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm. We have resolved over $3 billion in tax debt for our clients. Our award-winning professionals deal with the IRS every single day, protecting our clients and preparing them for the best possible resolution. For tax help you need, for tax help you can trust, give Optima a call today.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
If you're over 62 and want to stay in your home without as much financial stress, this may be worth your attention. I'm Steve Teitler, owner of Best Mortgage. Every week I talk with seniors who love their home and want to stay, but feel financial pressure every month. Property taxes keep going up. Insurance costs more. Everyday bills add up, and for some, they still have a mortgage payment. If you're wondering how long your savings need to last, a reverse mortgage may be worth a look. It could eliminate your mortgage payment, pay off debts, and give you breathing room every month. Now, I want to make it clear it's not right for everyone, but for the right person, it can be a very smart financial tool. When you call Best Mortgage, you'll speak directly with me. I'll explain your options and tell you honestly if it makes sense for you. If you want to stay in your home with less financial stress, call me, 425-649-6000. Best Mortgage. Honest advice you can trust. 425-649-6000.
Did you know that nearly half the homes in Western Washington are not properly insulated or not insulated at all? That may be the reason why your home is way too hot in the summer and way too cold in the winter. It may also be the reason that your energy bills are sky high. Right now, Insulation Northwest is offering a free inspection of your home's insulation. This is a $199 value and it's absolutely free, no obligation. Just call today and Insulation Northwest will arrange a time that works with your schedule. We'll perform a thorough exam of your home's insulation and give you the advice you need to start saving thousands. Everyone who calls today will also receive a free infrared screening of your home using the latest technology. This will help reveal any hidden flaws in your home's protective energy blanket. What do you have to lose? It only takes about an hour and it's absolutely free. Call Insulation Northwest today, the real insulation company.
InsulationNorthwest.com.
At Lake Washington Windows and Doors, we provide top quality windows that are 25% more energy efficient, reduce noise by 50%, and stay clear with low maintenance glass. With leak armor installation and lifetime warranties, you're protected for life. Visit LakeWashingtonWindows.com.
I started Davis Law Group in 1994 to fight for the underdog. And as our team has grown, we've stayed true to that mission. Today, Davis Law Group is known for providing excellent service and even better results. Visit WashingtonAccidentBooks.com to get your free book on car accident law.
Marvin is a dentist.
I couldn't really do my work in the office as easily. There was some pain moving around. And then sitting was difficult.
Hip arthritis and a labrum tear were making it difficult to do his job and threatening something he loves even more.
Do some overseas mission work, and that wasn't going to happen if I had to try to sit on a plane for 15 hours to get to where we usually go.
Orthopedic surgeons gave him a few options.
They said, well, you got like 3 choices. You could do surgery, and then he said you could just plan for hip replacement.
But Marvin had already seen another option work firsthand. His wife, Leslie, had multiple stem cell procedures with Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine.
I'm pushing my way back into fitness, and that's been great.
Rowing, running, cycling, and planning another mission trip to Africa. So whether it's a hip like I had or a shoulder, elbow, ankle, wrist, or knee, before choosing surgery, see Dr. Mark Wagner first. Go to drmarkwagnermd.com. That's drmarkwagnermd.com.
For the ones who get it done, Grainger offers the professional-grade products you need, delivered when and where you need them. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by.
KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Jillian Raftery. Step outside and take a nice breath of fresh air. Overnight winds picked up and... Well, that soundbite didn't play, but meteorologist Scott Sistek says winds are pulling in fresh air from the coast, and it's great news for Western Washington, but it means higher fire danger east of the mountains. Crews are going to be working hard to surround the flames and get as much control as possible over the spread as those winds pick up. Attorneys for a man accused of intentionally setting a devastating wildfire near Spokane have asked for a competency evaluation at yesterday's court appearance. That's a psychiatric assessment to determine if a suspect is competent to stand trial. And because of that, Aaron Farinacci has not entered a plea yet, but a judge did find probable cause for 4 more counts of arson and increased his bond. And those additional charges stem from a shocking confession detectives say he made during an interrogation. Here's KIRO 7 TV's Elle Thomas.
Admit to starting the fire, he told them he'd been planning it for weeks. And this isn't the first time he's done this. He says he's responsible for at least 25 other fires, according to these court documents.
We're going to turn to Ted Biener with your KIRO News Radio traffic.
All righty, the big issue here this morning on northbound I-5 is near the 74th interchange in Tacoma. A crash involving a semi and up to 10 vehicles has blocked all lanes with traffic detoured to the 74th exit. We got a long delay there. To avoid the growing backup, take alternates such as eastbound 512 to the Valley Freeway or surface streets. One lane of southbound I-5 is also blocked at the scene. Your Olympia to State Route 512 drive time, that is under a half hour. Otherwise, it's Friday light. Your morning commute overall moving well throughout the rest of the Puget Sound region. Drive times, Tacoma to Seattle, 35 minutes. Auburn to Renton, just 11 minutes. Renton to Bellevue, 12 minutes. And from the north end, Everett to Seattle, Bellevue, both of those are just under a half hour. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Ted Biener.
We are experiencing a heat advisory through this evening, and it's going to be 86 degrees for your high today. So that's pretty warm, and the heat advisory takes into account days of warm weather, but we are going to get some relief at night. 59 degrees overnight. Morning clouds roll in tomorrow, and then they break out for partial sunshine expected late in the day with a high of 83. It's going to stay warm and mostly sunny through almost all of next week. Right now, it's 63 degrees in downtown Seattle. Coming up, we have Charlie's commentary. I'm Jillian Raftery for KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO Newsradio App. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO Newsradio Northwest News. Seattle's morning news. Hear it live, stream it online, watch the show, or catch the podcast anytime. Seattle's morning news, wherever you are.
In Charlie's commentary yesterday, a look at the situation in Spokane as we learn more about the suspected arsonist.
The situation in Spokane is massive. 3 huge fires have incinerated at least 800 homes and buildings. The situation in Spokane is heartbreaking. Each of those homes had a family who lost everything, their pets, their belongings, their family heirlooms, gone, ash. The situation in Spokane is hard to believe. A man is accused of setting one of the fires, causing so much damage. He's accused, not convicted. He gets his day in court like everyone else, and that presumption belongs to him, same as it belongs to you and me. That's the deal in this country, after all. It doesn't come with exceptions for the cases that make us the angriest. Now, that man served 10 years in an Arizona prison for killing his dad. Killing his own father after he became upset over being told to do the dishes. His mother was so distraught, according to court records obtained by KXLY, she could only refer to her son as the defendant in pre-sentencing paperwork. Not his name, not after what he did. That same paperwork had a psychological evaluation. They knew. It was written right there. Medium to high risk to reoffend, a lack of social skills, mental health issues. They knew. This was Arizona. So he gets out of prison and hits the road. He's still on probation when he moves to Washington in 2020. He gets reprimanded several times for not complying with his probation officer's directives. And the post-prison mental health evaluation the court ordered for the man who shot his father looks like it never happened. No matter. A judge let him walk off supervision anyway. Released from probation in December of 2023. A judge signs the discharge order. The situation in Spokane is a paperwork failure. And there's this line in the KXLY story, the last line, about his arrest for arson this week. Court records show it's at least the 3rd time he's been questioned about arson in the last year. The last year. Last summer, Washington officers contacted him about 2 fires, including a suspicious one near his own house. No arrest either time. A killer. Serious psychological issues, medium to high risk to reoffend, questioned about arson now 3 times. The situation in Spokane is infuriating. Let me be careful here because this does matter. Most people living with mental illness are no danger to anyone. This is about the small, identifiable few who are. Identifiable because it's written in the file. His file said medium to high risk. His file said the evaluation was ordered. Nobody read the file, then acted on it. There's an entire system built exactly for this handoff, for supervising someone who serves time in one state and moves to another. It has rules. It has staff. It had this man's file. Arizona had him and stopped watching. Washington took him in and apparently had no mechanism to ask about what happened to that mental health evaluation. 2 states, 1 file, and now such senseless destruction. I'm at a loss for what the solution looks like after the prison, but before the fires. But just letting him be doesn't cut it. Not for him, especially not for all those families who will suffer for the rest of their lives because 2 states didn't watch this guy like a hawk. A convicted killer considered a big risk to reoffend. Questioned multiple times about arson before last weekend. Just slipped through the cracks. And if this man is convicted, there's no prison sentence that's legal in Washington that will ever feel just. The situation in Spokane is broken. The situation in Spokane didn't have to happen.
You just listened to the commentary from Thursday, August 6th. You can find all of Charlie's commentaries at mynorthwest.com. This is KIRO News Radio.
What if you could have the most reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi? And get this, what if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years guaranteed? Now through August 24th, new Xfinity customers can get our best price on gig Wi-Fi this summer before it disappears. Just $50 a month for 5 years. No annual contracts, no hidden fees, and our best equipment included. Plus, get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi. It's Wi-Fi that finds and fixes problems before you even notice them. Like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a sixth sense. Plus, it keeps you protected from online threats. And get Peacock Premium included for 2 years. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities. Get it now at Xfinity.com. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and autopay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Speeds vary. Use of fiber coaxial cable. Learn more at Xfinity.com/same-day Wi-Fi.
Your old water heater's starting to peter. DayandNight.net. Day and Night has $150 off installation of any new water heater, including tankless, backed by a free lifetime warranty.
Hi, I'm Bruce. When your old water heater leaks or fails, the damage could be catastrophic. Whether you need an emergency replacement or you're planning ahead before it leaks, give us a call and we'll help you get into hot water again.
Get $150 off installation of any new water heater. DayandNight.net.
Here are your political insights from ABC News. President Trump's choice wins the Republican Tennessee primary Thursday for a House district that was majority black until Republicans divided it, hoping for a sweep of all the House seats in that state. Brent Taylor will face Justin Pearson, the Democratic winner in a district that now leans Republican. Days after calling Ohio Congressman Max Miller with concerns about his re-election chances, given domestic abuse allegations that he denies, the president told reporters,
"Well, I'm not going to get involved in that. It's a very sad situation, and I know Max very well, but it's very, very sad that a situation like that takes place."
Senator Mitch McConnell can't say when he'll return from his almost 2-month absence as he recovers at home now from a fall. At 84 years old, he is the 9th oldest member of Congress. Wayne Cabot, ABC News.
It's 5:44, and you're listening to KIRO News Radio. A heat advisory remains in effect until 10 p.m. today for a lot of western Washington, and for almost half of our state, there is a red flag warning, meaning incredibly high fire danger. So everyone be careful out there. It's 63 degrees right now in downtown Seattle, and our high for today is going to be about 86 with overnight lows in the high 60s. You're listening to KIRO News Radio. I'm Jillian Raftery.
Hey, Jake Skorheim here. There's been a rash of reports of fake contractors ripping homeowners off for roof replacements and other jobs. That's why it is so important to know the company coming to your home. And that's why I put my name behind Valentine Roofing. Every customer can expect the Valentine experience. That's seamless communication, meticulous cleanup, and extra mile service. So if you think your roof is on its last legs, if you want to beat the rain and beat the mad rush, Valentine Roofing is now offering priority scheduling for your roof replacement. That means when you call Valentine Roofing today, they can get your job started within 3 weeks of signing the agreement. And they make the process so simple. You can expect an estimate with transparent pricing and options that fit your needs in about an hour. Since 2008, thousands of Western Washington homeowners like me have chosen Valentine Roofing for their roofing needs, and you can trust them too. So call 206 Roofing to schedule your free estimate. That's 206 Roofing. And remember, when you see the red Valentine van, you know your home is in good hands.
If you're over 62 and worried about how far your retirement savings will go, I'd like you to hear this. I'm Steve Tytler, owner of Best Mortgage. Every week I talk with seniors who love their home and want to stay, but feel financial pressure every month. Property taxes keep going up. Insurance costs more. Everyday bills add up, and for some, they still have a mortgage payment. If you're wondering how long your savings need to last, a reverse mortgage may be worth a look. It could eliminate your mortgage payment, pay off debts, and give you breathing room every month. Now, I want to make it clear it's not right for everyone. But for the right person, it can be a very smart financial tool. When you call Best Mortgage, you'll speak directly with me. I'll explain your options and tell you honestly if it makes sense for you. If you want to stay in your home with less financial stress, call me. 425-649-6000. Best Mortgage. Honest advice you can trust. 425-649-6000.
Someone had a birthday.
Yep, 50. Can't believe it.
50 years of wisdom.
Great segue. We have a health reminder from the CDC.
Pneumococcal vaccination is recommended for adults 50 or older. Says here, we're over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50.
I don't love those odds.
Same. Look what I found. Pfizer's Prevnar 20 is proven to help protect adults against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease in just 1 dose. And millions have already gotten it.
Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you have a severe allergy to its ingredients. A weakened immune system may lower your response. Common side effects include injection site pain and swelling, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138. Visit Prevnar20.com or talk to your doctor or pharmacist.
I'm on Prevnar20.com now, scheduling my appointment.
Good idea. And happy 50th.
Hey, how's your money situation? Are you ready for retirement? Well, if you want to know what the pros are doing to make wealth multiply and retire like royalty, then you need to listen to this show, Sound Path Through Retirement, with Ben Koval and Matt Leibarger. Get your money right and tune in every weekend, Saturdays at 10 a.m. and noon on KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM.
This might be the most surprising statistic I've shared in decades of doing local news. More than 75% of commuters will be involved in a car accident at some point. JP Pendergast of Pendergast Law with more.
What makes it more surprising? The average person will be involved in 3 to 4 collisions in their lifetime.
With accidents unbelievably prevalent, what are some safety tips if it happens to you?
Safety first. Secondary collisions are not uncommon while awaiting help. Turn on those hazards and remain in a safe place. If a bystander witnessed the accident, capture their information and encourage them to remain at the scene. Seek medical attention immediately if needed, as delaying can be a costly mistake. Lastly, remember that statements made to police and insurance adjusters can affect your case.
Collisions are more common than we'd like to think. If you find yourself in one, follow these helpful tips and then call my friends at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one's injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
PendergastLaw.com.
For more than 50 years, the voice Seattle trusts. This is Seattle's Morning News on KIRO News Radio.
A potential deal along the Strait of Hormuz between Iran and Oman. This as the U.S. holds a crisis meeting over low munitions supplies at the Pentagon, something the president denies. Let's break it all down with News Nation White House correspondent Corey Smith. Good morning, Corey. Let's start with this weapons stockpile being depleted. What do we know?
Well, look, this is a concern that's gone on for months now since the war started, especially with war in Ukraine, Israel's war in Gaza as well, and interceptor missiles being so prized and valued when it comes to defense. There's reporting, according to the Washington Post, that during that big cabinet meeting down at Camp David, the president really pressed Pete Hegseth for answers as to why munitions stockpiles are low and causing some concern about America's readiness to fight in future conflicts. Throughout the morning, we have seen communications director for the White House, the press secretary for the White House, Pentagon spokesperson all come out and say this is fake news. We told the Washington Post it was fake news, and they decided to publish it anyway. The president followed up by saying the U.S. munition stockpiles are in excellent condition. So it's hard to tell what the truth is now, but there has been reporting beyond just this incident, the Camp David meeting, that there is some concern within the Central Command, the Pentagon, DOD, that stockpiles are running low, and that could have an impact on how this war proceeds. It was just last week we were telling you about General Brad Cooper, CENTCOM commander, talking about an onslaught, a 2-week bombing period to really bring Iran to heel. Some of the pushback that plan got was because stockpiles, the concerns over stockpiles being low was very evident. Did what the Washington Post say happened at Camp David actually happen? That's for the Washington Post reporters to know. They are obviously standing behind their reporting. But what we do know is that there is some concern within the Department of War about U.S. munition stockpiles as this war continues to go on, when you just look at the sheer number of missiles that have been fired during this conflict.
Corey, what are some of the implications if there weren't as many missiles as optimal? What are the implications of that?
Well, it not just impacts the war with Iran, but it impacts the war between Ukraine and Russia. As we know, the U.S. has been selling missiles to our NATO allies, who then pass them on to Ukraine. That could be an issue. We also know, people start thinking about China and Taiwan, and any sort of attack that China may launch on Taiwan, which is obviously a U.S. ally. Would the U.S. be prepared to defend Taiwan? If Russia makes a move against a NATO ally, would the U.S. be prepared to handle that? So the munition concerns are coupled with this deal that we got announced during the NATO summit in Turkey last month, that Ukraine was going to get the license to manufacture and learn how to use Patriot missiles. And we know the Pentagon has been working with international allies to really speed up the production of these critical missiles used for defense. So it is a real issue that the White House has acknowledged. To the extent that it would impact U.S. readiness, it sort of depends on who you ask. The White House would say that the U.S. military is capable of handling anything in any conflict. But there are those with military experience background in the area who say that may not be at all true, just given the sheer amount of munitions that have been used thus far.
Corey, let's touch on the proposed deal between Iran and Oman. What do we know about this?
Well, look, when the president said a deal was imminent earlier this week, a lot of folks didn't think he was talking about a deal between Iran and Oman. So basically, look, this is a temporary deal. It's still a proposal at this point, but to hear officials in the Gulf talk about it, it is gaining some momentum. And basically what it would do is it would allow Iran to oversee and regulate inbound traffic into the Strait of Hormuz on the northern portion of the strait, which is closest to Iranian's coastline. And then Oman would oversee outbound traffic in the southern portion of the strait. That is the portion that the U.S. military has continually told commercial shipping companies that they can use freely and safely. The hangups right now appear to be this proposed fee within the strait, where the revenue would be shared by Iran and Oman. Iran wants a little bit more than Oman does, but we know the U.S. has been adamantly opposed to any sort of toll in the Strait of Hormuz. While the hope is that a deal could ultimately restart negotiations between Iran and the U.S. because the Strait of Hormuz issue is taken off the table, this would mark a really big concession on the part of the United States, because it would give Iran more leverage over this critical waterway that a fifth of the world's oil passes through. And it gives Iran leverage that they did not have before this war started. So some critics are saying, this pressure campaign that the president put on Iran with nearly 2 weeks straight of bombing may actually end up helping Iran in the strait than harming it.
A lot of developments sure to come. Appreciate the update with News Nation's Corey Smith. Corey, thanks for your time this morning.
I'm Jillian Raftery. You're listening to KIRO News Radio. Coming up in the next hour, we're going to get an update on the collision that's fully blocked northbound I-5 in Tacoma. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey with an update on the fires in Spokane. Some shocking new confessions from the suspected arsonist. Plus, at 6:15, we hear from journalist Michael Powell about his recent study of the cities that said yes to drugs. You are listening to Seattle's Morning News.
The IRS finally caught up with Louie.
I hadn't paid my taxes in 8 years. I owed the IRS a lot of money.
Louie was in deep trouble.
We're going to take your house, put a lien on your bank account, garnish your pay. They don't care. They're going to take your paycheck.
Louis found out about Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm. A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $3 billion for their clients.
Optima Tax, they help me. They calm me down. They make me feel comfortable, and I trust them.
Louis has a lot to be thankful for.
I don't owe the IRS anymore, and I'm able to live a comfortable life, a lot better life. It was because of Optima Tax.
For tax help you can trust, call Optima now for a free consultation. Take it from Louis.
If you owe the IRS, don't go it alone. Give Optima Tax a call. They can help you.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Yeah, we lost literally everything.
Join KIRO Newsradio in doing whatever you can for our neighbors in Spokane.
And there was a lot of terror. It's loud, it's hot.
See how you can help at mynorthwest.com.
I like it hot.
Beg your pardon?
Can you make it hot for me, Dan?
I think so.
Half heated ain't hot enough.
No.
That's why I called you.
Apollo Plumbing.
Yeah, my sorry old water heater.
Oh.
Ain't getting me the hots anymore.
You want hot water.
That's what I said.
That's what we do at Apollo Plumbing.
And you're ready?
Right now.
When can you?
How about today?
Same day?
We'll have you in hot water tonight.
Clever. How about an upgrade?
A tankless water heater would mean endless hot water.
Now you're cooking.
That's just for starters.
Starters?
How about we make it a worry-free water heater?
Worry-free?
Wrenchie's worry-free warranty.
Which covers?
Repair, service, all included.
And when it wears out?
Apollo replaces it.
No extra charge?
Nothing.
Nil?
Nada. As an Apollo A-list member, you're covered.
And payments?
To fit your budget with approved credit, of course.
And I'm hot again.
Worry-free.
That's for me.
We're on our way.
Thanks for making it hot.
We're ApolloPlumbing.com.
Be advised, this is your opportunity to save up to 40 to 80% on a hot tub or swim spa. This weekend only, today through Sunday. Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. Be advised, this is your opportunity to save up to 40 to 80% on a hot tub or swim spa. This weekend only, today through Sunday. Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. 18-month interest-free financing. Our factories have demanded we sell 1,000 hot tubs and swim spas this weekend. Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. Huge factory incentives, factory rebates, this weekend only. Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. We can remove your old hot tub. Free delivery of your new hot tub. Deep, deep discounts. Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. Free delivery of your new hot tub. Just relax and enjoy. Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. Today, 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. Saturday, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Sunday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Free admission. Free delivery. Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. Call 833-SPA-SALE or visit hottubandSwimSpaSale.com.
If you haven't been to the Earthwise Salvage Lumber Warehouse in Soto yet, this is the week. Fresh shipments land every day. Beams, flooring, shelves, live edge slabs, and so much more. One-of-a-kind pieces you can't find anywhere else. Contractors, designers, DIYers, no time to lumber around. Inventory changes daily. This stuff is rare, it's real, and once it's gone for good. So get here first. Earthwise Salvage Lumber Warehouse. Open in Soto. Go to EWSalvage.com.
Keep summer outside where it belongs. Save $588 on every window and $1,088 on every door, plus free heat deflecting glass. Claim your free quote today, plus 12 months no payments. Visit LakeWashingtonWindows.com.
KIRO-FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle.
ABC News, I'm Mike Dubusky. A New Mexico court is now ordering Meta to pay hundreds of millions of dollars following that landmark ruling earlier this year that found social media platforms are contributing to negative mental health outcomes in children. ABC's Elizabeth Schulze.
Meta facing nearly $1 billion in penalties and changes to its platforms Instagram and Facebook, after a New Mexico judge handed down a decision saying Meta's social media platforms are a significant contributing factor to the current mental health crisis among New Mexico's youth. In this phase 2 of the landmark trial, the judge ordering Meta to pay $567 million.
That's in addition to a $375 million penalty the court had previously announced. Meta has said it was at a school on the outskirts of Bangkok, Thailand earlier today. That suspect, thought to be a student, is also dead. This is ABC News. Congressman Rob Menendez says there's been another death at the Delaney Hall Detention Center in Newark, New Jersey. It is the third death at the facility and the second in just a month. It's believed to have happened 2 weeks ago when the detainee had a seizure. The agency is required to notify Congress when a detainee dies in their custody, but ICE says the death actually happened at the hospital.
The death of this third detainee was never reported to Congress. It was never disclosed to the public. That's because he was not technically in federal custody when he died. And New Jersey Democrats and advocates say this is just part of the pattern of ICE and the private contractor here who runs Delaney Hall of fundamentally being unsafe, documented failures. And they say this is the wake-up call to finally shut this facility down.
ABC's Darla Miles. And starting today, campfires are banned in Olympic National Park on account of an elevated wildfire danger. I'm Mike Dubosky, ABC News.
At 6:02, here's what's happening.
The man accused of setting one of the devastating Spokane fires told detectives he planned it for 2 weeks, researching wind and humidity to maximize damage. Aaron Farinacci is now held on $2 million bail.
More than 900 structures have been lost in those fires, nearly 700 of them in the Old Trails fire, which he is accused of deliberately setting.
The FAA is ordering inspections of about 470 Boeing 737 MAX jets after reports of cracks near a galley door. The planes are not being grounded.
And it's never a good sign when your right fielder ends up pitching. The Mariners got blanked by the Tigers 11-0. Their league worst 11th shutout of the season.
It's 6:03. Let's get a look at traffic with Ted Beener.
All right, good morning, everybody. This hour is brought to you by the Home Comfort Alliance, heating, air conditioning, plumbing, and electrical. Well, you would think it's Friday light, but we've got a traffic alert in Tacoma, and it's on northbound I-5 near the 74th interchange. And we got a crash that's involving a semi and up to 10 vehicles that has blocked all lanes with traffic detoured to the 74th exit, and that's created quite a long delay. So this crash is going to take some time to clear. To avoid the growing backup, take alternates such as eastbound 512 to the Valley Freeway or surface streets. Crash also involved the Jersey barrier, and then so we have one lane of southbound I-5 also blocked at the scene. Your Olympia to State Route 512 drive time, that is under a half hour. Elsewhere, it is Friday light with traffic moving well throughout the Puget Sound area. The only slowdown right now, well, it's eastbound 512 down the hill into Puyallup. Your Puyallup to Renton drive time is 35 minutes. Other drive times, Everett to Seattle, Bellevue, both of those are just under a half hour. And Federal Way to Seattle is 25 minutes, and Renton to Bellevue, 12 minutes. Home Comfort Alliance repairs first, replacing only if it makes sense. Ask about a heat pump for a year-round comfort. Get real pricing in 60 seconds at homecomfortalliance.com. KIRO Newsradio, real-time traffic. I'm Ted Beener.
Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue,
Seattle's morning news.
Good morning. It's 6:04. Thanks for joining us today. I'm Charlie Harger with Jillian Raftery, filling in for Manda Factor. New court documents reveal an arson suspect confessed to detectives that he started the Old Trails fire in Spokane.
And that fire has destroyed around 900 structures, forcing thousands of people to evacuate their homes. We're here with KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey with an update on that.
Yeah, those court documents say that 37-year-old Aaron Farinacci admitted that he had planned that fire for 2 weeks. He even researched wind and humidity conditions to maximize the damage. Remember, this witness told KIRO 7 TV he saw the suspect acting suspicious that day and called 911.
Said, holy and where the smoke was rising was where that individual was standing, and I told myself, I said, that SOB started a fire.
Investigators say the fire started just where Farinacci was standing that day. When he was arrested on Monday, investigators say he had a butane lighter and waterproof matches on him, but 11 of those matches were missing from the pack. Prosecutors say he also set at least 25 other fires over the last year. He's now undergoing a mental competency evaluation. Bail was raised for up to $2 million. All right, let's talk about the latest on the fires in Spokane now. The fires were slowing down overnight in the last couple of days. That's great news. Didn't spread much at all. However, there's growing frustration now from folks who were evacuated last week, still not being allowed back home. Sheriff John Knowles responded to that late yesterday.
Those burn areas are absolutely not safe for people to be in, and the decision for us to let the public into those areas will be when we are confident that there is no risk to their life immediately or into the future.
And he says first responders are battling smaller fires that keep popping up in those neighborhoods, and I mean, think about this. Firefighters are on the front lines carrying heavy equipment, dealing with toxic smoke from burning homes and cars.
They are wearing full self-contained breathing apparatuses because of the hazardous materials that are airborne, hazardous materials that are introduced into the air when people go through those areas, things that are very, very toxic and very, very dangerous to humans.
Yeah, there are about 1,500 firefighters from 23 different states battling these fires. All of them, I mean, real heroes in all of this. There's been no loss of life, but the fires, again, slowing down overnight. That's great news. However, a weather alert for eastern Washington, gusty winds, extremely dry conditions, and it's going to be hot again today.
And to think that the guy who is apparently someone who has confessed to doing this Old Trails fire, that's over 600 homes and structures that have burned down from that one fire alone.
Just one. Incredible. There have been 3 big fires. They're calling it a complex. There was a 4th one that was put out. But again, these smaller fires just keep popping up all over the place.
Luke Ducey reporting live.
A Stage 2 burn ban is now in effect in King County. That means no burning yard debris or clearing land with fire, also banned. Recreational fires like wood fire pits or campfires, that covers unincorporated King County. The notice says it's just too dry and hot, and firefighting resources are stretched thin, making even smaller fires more dangerous. Campfires are also now banned in Olympic National Forest and Olympic National Park.
We're hearing from the neighbor who helped stop a suspected arsonist after a Port Orchard garage was set on fire this week. Here's KIRO 7 TV's Jason Sloss.
Dan Carlson lives across the street, says he and his wife were in the hot tub when they spotted the golf cart and then flames.
And I went up to the door, rang the doorbell a couple of times, beat on the door.
Carlson says his wife called 911 and he confronted the guy with the blowtorch.
I asked him, "What are you doing?" He goes, "Well, everything's okay. I'm with the fire department." I looked at him and said, no, what the hell, what's going on? And that's when he took after me with a golf cart and tried to run me down.
Suspect now faces multiple felony charges.
Keeping you informed since 1974. This is the city's longest-running radio news show.
Seattle's Morning News on KIRO News Radio.
Well, it's 6:08 on a Friday morning. We've made it to Friday. Charlie Harger here. Manda Factor has a morning off. Jillian Raftery is filling in. Good morning, Jillian.
Good morning, Charlie.
It's so fun having you in the studio.
Thank you so much.
And you worked a long day yesterday and back at it.
I'm just happy to be here. I'm so happy to be here. You guys energize me so much.
So cool. Well, it's nice seeing you. We've got a lot to come in the hours ahead.
That's right.
I do want you to stick around for 6:30 segment because we have Luke Ducey talking about something going on that I think surprised a lot of us.
Yeah, I ran out in the newsroom and said, "What the?"
Yep. So we will talk with him about what's going on there. That'll be just after 6:30. This hour of Seattle's Morning News is sponsored by American Crawl Space and Pest Control. Coming up, we'll hear from Michael Powell. He's a journalist with The Atlantic who spent time in the cities that said yes to drugs, including Seattle. Michael shares what he found in each city that has an emphasis on the harm reduction approach to drug enforcement.
Seattle's Amanda Knox is facing backlash over a new stand-up comedy routine. The show, called Cartwheel, debuts at an art festival in Scotland today. The title references rumors Knox did cartwheels after her roommate was murdered. The victim's family is slamming the performance, but Knox told Sky News she is being judged unfairly compared to other wrongfully convicted people.
I can't speak to what is or is not triggering to Meredith's family. What I can say is that I've never seen the kind of scrutiny and criticism pointed towards a wrongly accused man that I've seen pointed towards me.
You may remember Knox was wrongfully convicted of the crime in Italy and spent 4 years in prison before her acquittal.
The Kitsap County Sheriff's Office is stepping up efforts to catch online child sex predators after arresting a Seattle man last week who thought he was chatting with a 13-year-old girl.
Investigators say the 29-year-old man was actually chatting with a trained detective and sent explicit messages trying to arrange a meeting. Kevin McCarty with the Kitsap County Sheriff's Office says soon his office will have 3 detectives trained to catch those who would prey on kids.
Whenever possible, those people are going to be taken into custody. They're going to face criminal charges, and they're going to face the punishment of the law for doing these things to kids.
The suspect was arrested on suspicion of 2 counts of attempted child rape. James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
All right, here's a Good Friday story. At Seahawks training camp this week, some of the cheers are for a substitute teacher trying to make the squad. Doesn't that sound fun? I love being at training camp. That sound courtesy of the Tacoma News Tribune. Montori Foster Jr. is from Ohio and played at Michigan State University before returning to his alma mater to teach. Last year, 4 pro teams called him up into practice, and he signed with the Seahawks to their practice squad. He has not played in a regular game, but he did get a Super Bowl ring this year along with the team.
How about that? And it's a big quarterfinal rematch for Washington softball Little League World Series game. They take on Florida at noon today. Now, they lost 14-0 to that team in the first game of the series, mounting a major comeback that included a 9-1 win against Canada on Wednesday.
We're going to check your...
And Washington will play another day here at the World Series. Maddie Locke strikes out 12, and her defense backs her up. Washington wins 9-1.
And the team is from Snohomish, and they went undefeated in the regionals. At 6:12, let's get a check on the weather, and for that, we check in with KIRO 7 pinpoint meteorologist Nick Allard. Nick, it was hot yesterday and smoky. What's it looking like today?
Hot and smoky, although not as smoky. We're getting better. What I'm thinking we're seeing already, air quality is a lot better. We have spots where it's just in the moderate range. We have areas where it's moderate to unhealthy for sensitive groups. So we are getting better. But what I think you'll see is just improving air quality for the rest of the day. I think you'll see it linger the longest, it being the smoke and haze around King County, especially east of I-5. So throughout the day, improving air quality, you might finish the day in the moderate range to maybe a little bit better in Seattle, maybe unhealthy for sensitive groups east of I-5 or better, but everyone's getting better. And I think the rest of the area, the rest of Western Washington, will just start to see some clearing. So it's getting better. We're looking for temps today that'll be at least in the mid-80s to upper 80s, might have some lower 90s around a few South Sound locations. Tomorrow, we're getting cooler. You'll wake up to low clouds and then a little bit of afternoon sunshine. Looks like a nice day in the low 80s, improving air quality. But if you have any plans to camp east of the Cascades, it's tricky because the smoke's going to be bad and also windy. So that's not going to be good. Windy this evening and windy tomorrow east of the Cascades for fire danger. It's scary. And then Sunday, we all see some low clouds. Not as much clearing in the afternoon. You're just not going to have quite as much sunshine. But it's a nice day in the 70s, and the next week, you're upper 70s, low 80s with some pretty good sun. All in all, not bad. All in all, we are on our way out of this. It's just we have a little bit of haze lingering, and then we'll get through it later today and into tomorrow.
That's what we say about you, Nick.
I know, just
all
have to hear me for like 2 more minutes, and then Ted will talk, and everything will be better.
Thanks, Nick. It's 59 in Seattle.
And we turn to Ted Beener with our traffic, who is following a major collision in Tacoma.
Yeah, we have a traffic alert in Tacoma on northbound I-5 near the 74th interchange there. Got a crash involving a semi and up to 10 vehicles. Oh, the video has been pretty impressive. It is blocking all lanes there. Traffic is being detoured to the 74th exit and has created a long delay. This crash is going to take some time to clear, so to avoid that backup, take alternates such as eastbound 512 to the Valley Freeway or some of those surface streets. You know them quite well. The crash also involved the Jersey barrier, so one lane of southbound I-5 is also blocked at the scene. Your Olympia to State Route 512 drive time is right about a half hour, so that's doing pretty well. Slowdowns, well, they involve drivers that are getting around that Tacoma crash on eastbound 512 down the hill into Puyallup and on northbound 167 from Sumner to Pacific. The rest of the Puget Sound region is moving pretty well. Your drive time, by the way, from Puyallup up to Renton is about 40 minutes at this point. Elsewhere, Tacoma to Seattle is 40 minutes. Auburn to Renton is 11 minutes. Renton to Bellevue is 12 minutes. And from the north end, haven't forgotten you, Everett to Seattle, Bellevue, both of those are just under a half hour. And a reminder, northbound 405 is going to close for road work from Sunset to Coal Creek Parkway from 11:30 tonight to early Monday morning. A signed detour will be in place. Southbound 405 will remain open. I'm Ted Beener with KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic.
Hear it live, stream it online, watch the show, or catch the podcast anytime.
Seattle's Morning News, wherever you are.
The cities that said yes to drugs. It's an impressive new article from The Atlantic magazine, and its writer is journalist Michael Powell, where he writes about different cities and their approach to the harm reduction model. and what that means for a city like Seattle. Michael Powell joins us now. Michael, for somebody who may be tuning in for the first time, they aren't familiar with the reporting I've done on harm reduction, they may not be paying attention. Briefly, what is the harm reduction model?
Sure. I mean, one thing to understand, as I'm sure I know you do, is that it's a tale. So it starts off when I first encountered it in the 1990s in New York City as one of those things that, like, well, who would be opposed to this? In other words, that was time of very bad AIDS. In particular, what it did was it would encourage needle exchanges, for instance, so that folks who were addicts could come in and exchange their needles, because what they were doing before that was sharing them among 10 or 15 people, and given AIDS, a great number of them were dying. So it seemed like a humane thing. It was very localized, and it made a lot of sense. And likewise, if you have naloxone or one of these drugs that reverses overdoses, that's keeping people alive. I mean, that seems to me something that we should do as a society if we possibly can. If somebody drops in front of me and I've got something that can can administer them, great. What happens with harm reduction over time, and I started to call it radical harm reduction, is that it then expanded into, there should be injection centers where people can go and use heroin, use meth, and have no, in fact, it would be encouraged. That's a place you can come and do that. Then it goes beyond that. It goes, well, if they're in a park in Seattle, in New York, don't arrest people. That's like that's quote unquote not meeting them where they are. So you take an approach that says, we aren't going to arrest you. We aren't going to, basically we aren't going to arrest you. We're not going to move you. So, I mean, as you know, most dramatically in Seattle, some of these beautiful parks and playgrounds have just been taken over.
Your reporting has you going through Jose Rizal Park. You're going through 12th and Jackson. I should say, near Jose Rizal Park yesterday morning, a body was found near what presumably was a homeless encampment. What did you see walking through these sections that would be shocking to people in almost any other city in the country?
Yeah, and I think that's absolutely right. I mean, look, I've done many years ago, I spent a month in a heroin shooting gallery in New York. So you're used to finding that in a heroin shooting gallery, that is an apartment that's set aside, by somebody who's probably himself an addict. And so I was used to that. But to come to Jose Rizal Park, for instance, which is, has this breathtaking view of downtown Seattle, is in what I guess kind of a middle class, working class neighborhood. And I mean, literally upon arrival, I see a man has a tent right next to essentially the monkey bars, and he's relieving himself. And you see, I think the first day I was there, this again is nothing new to you, but I mean, I saw 20, 25 people either shooting up or smoking fentanyl, which is an enormously deadly opiate. And most noticeably in this beautiful park, and for good reason, there was not a parent or a kid to be found, because it had been an area entirely taken over by addicts.
And Michael, one of the distressing things that I didn't understand until I started reporting on this, county employees, city employees will not guide you to resources such as, they'll give you foil and needles, of course, but they won't make you talk about detox or rehab or getting off of drugs. Those conversations are never brought up. I'm just curious, is that the way it's done in the rest of the country?
Unfortunately, actually, variations on that appear elsewhere in the country. But I would say that Seattle, for the density of it, is like another step beyond. But I'm also often struck by. I mean, look, I'm a middle class reporter. I know all my friends are either middle class, upper middle class. And there's been some people who have had, either drinking or drug problems, right, over the decades. None of those families would say, oh, the place to do, we got to leave Fred alone. We need to meet him where he is and just allow him to keep using, to keep smoking fentanyl. There's probably a way that's somewhat safe. Like, no one does that. Like, so why? And in fact, what they usually do is they do varieties of interventions, and they try to get people into, to get help. I've had several friends who now a decade or more have gotten that help and are fine. I mean, they're working, they're loving, fathers and all this sort of stuff. Why is it then, if we're talking about what are largely poor, down and out people, I mean, regardless of what neighborhood they can, why is it okay there?
San Francisco used to be the poster child for this in terms of acceptance, harm reduction. You go down the list. Things have started to change there. What have you found?
Yeah, I mean, if I were writing a different piece, or maybe I should go back and take a look, do it separately. But when I've been to, in the course of my reporting, I've been to San Francisco several times. They have a new mayor, Lurie, who came in and very bluntly said, this isn't working. I mean, it was in fact part of his campaign. And look, it's in progress, but I think it's, for anybody who's seen San Francisco over the last 5 years, there's been a striking improvement.
A remarkable piece, Michael Powell, The Atlantic. It's out in this month's issue. It's called The Cities That Said Yes to Drugs. Can't encourage people enough to check it out. Michael, thanks for your time today.
At 6:23.
Oh, thanks very much. Really enjoyed talking with you.
At 6:23, it's time to check traffic. Ted, how is that collision looking that's been snarling traffic in South Tacoma?
It's pretty ugly down there. This traffic report is brought to you by Carpet Liquidators. We have a traffic alert in Tacoma. It is on northbound I-5 near the 74th interchange. Got a crash involving a semi, up to 10 vehicles as well. They all have blocked all the lanes. Traffic is being detoured onto the 74th exit and has created a long delay. Now, this crash, it's going to take some time to get that out of the way, so to avoid the backup, take alternates such as eastbound 512 to the Valley Freeway or some of those local surface streets. The crash also involved the Jersey Ferry, and we got one lane of southbound I-5 also blocked at the scene. Your Olympia to State Route 512 drive time, that is about 30 minutes. A little bit of a backup as you approach 512. Elsewhere, it is Friday light with traffic moving well throughout the rest of the Puget Sound area. The only slowdowns, and they involve those getting around the I-5 Tacoma crash. It's on eastbound 512 down the hill into Puyallup, as well as northbound 167 from Sumner to Pacific. Northbound 405 Renton curves, they're also starting to get crowded there. Your Puyallup to Renton drive time is 35 minutes. Other drive times, Everett to Seattle, Bellevue, both of those are still just under a half hour. Federal Way to Seattle is 25 minutes, and Renton to Bellevue, 14 minutes. And in Kirkland this weekend, the 405 on and off ramps at 85th will be closed for road work starting at 10 p.m. tonight all the way to early Monday morning. August is Karastan month at Carpet Liquidators. Purchase beautiful Karastan carpet and get free insulation. Why pay retail? They got you covered at Carpet Liquidators. I'm Ted Beener with KIRO Newsradio Real-Time Traffic.
Smoky and hot today, upper 80s in the forecast. We start to have less smoke tomorrow, 83, and by Sunday, 79, with maybe a couple clouds. Right now in Seattle, it's 63.
Coming up, more of the day's top stories, including KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey with an announcement about his health and how he hopes to help others with a commonly overlooked diagnosis.
We'll also have the opening bell report. You're listening to Seattle's Morning News.
A wildfire disaster unfolding just east of us.
The Spokane fires
destroyed hundreds of homes and forced tens of thousands to evacuate.
Unprecedented stories of loss, devastation, and heartbreak.
It was a beautiful home. It really was.
And there was a lot of terror because it's loud, it's hot.
Join KIRO News Radio in doing whatever you can for our neighbors in Spokane. See how you can help at mynorthwest.com.
For 250 years, Americans have believed in one powerful idea, that we are meant to live free. Free to work hard, free to move, free to enjoy life without being held back. But if the natural effects of aging are slowing you down, it might be time to declare your independence from aging. John Curley here. Longevity Medical Clinic has been treating the undesirable effects of aging for nearly 30 years. They have more clinical experience with actual patient care than any longevity practice in the country. I've been a patient for 17 years. Wow, time flies when you got a lot of energy. I don't know where I'd be today without longevity. Longevity Medical Clinic was started so people can get back to living life on their own terms, walking, working, exercising, and enjoying the moments that matter most. This year, as we celebrate 250 years of American independence, take a stand for your own freedom. Get your free health analysis at Longevity Medical Clinic. Find out more at lmclinic.com.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today?
My car is making this noise. Sometimes it's like doot, 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 and sometimes it's like grrr.
Do you have a dash light on?
Oh, yeah.
Then we don't have to listen for clues. With the free Fix Finder service, we can read a check engine, ABS, or maintenance light to find the likely fix and even recommend a local shop if you need one.
So you don't need to hear the grrr.
Not with Fix Finder. Free at every AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
And Doug. Limu and I created a trick to help you remember that you can customize your car insurance and save with Liberty Mutual. You see, the shirts Limu and I wear are yellow, and yellow is the color of lemons, and lemons grow on trees, and trees provide oxygen, and oxygen helps us breathe, and breathing is how you live, and you can live more life when you save money by customizing your car insurance. I agree, Limu. It's really quite simple. Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. But at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited everything for just $35 a line. That's $35 a month for unlimited talk, text, and data. Switch to the carrier ranked #1 in network coverage and customer satisfaction and get unlimited everything for just $35 a month. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit Consumer Cellular online or in-store today. Price includes $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. Taxes and fees apply. Data speeds reduced after 35 gigabytes. Rankings done by 2025 ACSI survey.
Spike O'Neill here for Ageless Living. Recently, my aunt had surgery and she was home the next day, but we weren't sure if we were ready or equipped to give the kind of care that she needed, so we called Ageless Living and asked about respite care, a short-term stay that provides 24/7 expert care, Ageless Living amenities, and peace of mind for you and your family. Go to agelessliving.com/spike and schedule a visit. It can be a much-needed break for a caregiver and a chance for you and your family to get a look and a taste of what Ageless Living offers. That's agelessliving.com/spike.
There's a sink at the brink and a drain that's a pain. DayandNight.net. Slow drain? Backed up toilet? Call Day and Night to save $100 off any drain cleaning. Hi, I'm Bruce with Day and Night Plumbing and Heating. From a slow drain to a major backup, no drain is too big or too small. Whether we're your first choice or smart second opinion, I guarantee our experts will solve any drain problem, day or night. Now get $100 off any drain cleaning. DayandNight.net.
Guys, your testosterone level impacts your energy, drive, weight, hair loss, and even ED. Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your T level for free. For your free T level check, exam, and consultation, call 206-529-1111 or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Well, it's official. My friends have all switched to Pure Talk because I told them they could save a bunch of money on a super reliable high-speed network with unlimited data. And because they're my friends, they trust me. As for the rest of you, well, Pure Talk understands that even though you might like me, you're not just going to take my word for it, nor should you. For that reason, and for a very limited time, Pure Talk is offering any of their plans for just $15 a month for the first 3 months, including their top-tier unlimited plan that normally sells for $65 a month. Think of it like a test drive, a super simple way to save $150 while you kick the tires on Pure Talk's blazing fast network, and a fine way to see for yourself why I switched from big wireless, along with a few 100,000 of my closest friends. Dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and be connected to Pure Talk's friendly U.S. customer service team. Again, dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and let the savings begin.
Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue,
Seattle's morning news.
Good morning. It's 6:31. I'm Jillian Raftery with Charlie Harger.
In court yesterday afternoon, the man accused of starting a wildfire in Spokane.
Aaron Forrest Farinacci, 1989.
37-year-old Aaron Farinacci did not enter a plea during his arraignment. He faced a judge after court documents were released showing he confessed to starting the Old Trails fire and 25 others over the past year. The defense requested a mental competency evaluation, putting the case on hold, while the judge increased Farinacci's bail to $2 million.
Our colleague Luke Ducey is about to go on an extended leave of absence because doctors recently discovered he has a serious health issue.
Luke's having surgery early next week and needs to take a few weeks off. Luke is here right now to share more about this journey with all of us.
Yeah, and, I make a living telling other people's stories, and so this is a little different. For sure. I have a tumor in the middle of my head, just under the brain, and next week I'm going to have surgery to have it removed. They are great. I just told everyone. Everyone knows now.
Yeah.
Fantastic. The tumor is benign. It's not cancer. And I know there are so many people out there facing diagnoses and challenges far more difficult than mine. But that said, in the last year, I thought I was losing myself in a lot of ways, and then I learned there was a reason, and now I'm fighting back to get myself back. And I'm hoping by telling my story, it might help someone out there pay attention to symptoms they may have and advocate for themselves to get it checked out. So in May, after a series of doctor visits, blood tests, and an MRI, I was told I have a pituitary macroadenoma. So that's a tumor on my pituitary gland, which sits smack dab in the middle of your head. The tumor is pressing on some pretty important stuff. The optic nerves are right there, and so are the carotid arteries. So that's scary. The pituitary gland is also very important, if you didn't know. It controls a lot of stuff. Energy levels, body temperature, heart rate, blood pressure, blood sugar, growth hormone, water balance in your body, milk production for pregnant women, and a lot of other stuff as well. So think about it this way. If your body is a TV, a television, the pituitary gland is the remote control. My remote control is broken right now. I've got to get it repaired, or new batteries, or whatever we need to do. So for me, it was lower testosterone that led to another blood test, which led to that MRI and the diagnosis. I thought I was just getting older. The only symptoms that I had were, lower energy, and when I'd work out, I couldn't keep any muscle on. That was it. But I knew something wasn't right, so I pushed my doctors to order those blood tests, and I caught this relatively early. The crazy cool part about this is the surgery. It's called endoscopic endonasal transphenoidal resection. Remember that. There'll be a test later. It's a fancy way of saying two surgeons are going to go up through my nose, and with specialized tools and a camera, they're going to break through a couple bones, and they're going to grab that tumor. Recovery, though, takes a while. So that's where I'm going to be. You're not going to hear from me for at least 3-4 weeks, maybe more. Who knows? We'll see. But I will be back for sure. And if you're interested, I'm going to be sharing photos and a diary of this whole journey along the way on mynorthwest.com. I wanted to say really quickly, according to the National Institutes of Health, about 1 in 1,000 people have a diagnosed symptomatic pituitary adenoma. So kind of rare. However, studies suggest that 1 in every 6 people out there, one of you, look around, 6 people driving your car in the commute, one of you has these tumors, or one of these tumors. Maybe you weren't paying attention to the symptoms, or you haven't been. It's difficult to really kind of pay attention to your body. Maybe, you're just not thinking about it. It's not on anyone's radar, but more and more people have these things, and maybe they just never felt symptoms. I'm being pretty vulnerable about this, again, with everyone listening. I'm hoping, and I'm doing that because I'm hoping my story will help someone out there. Pay attention to your body, and don't ask your doctors. Tell them that if you feel something is off, something is wrong.
Luke, we are pulling for you. We know you're going to come through this great. And I think your story right now has alerted people who may have not had a clue what's going on with them. But my hope is they go to their doctor and talk to them as soon as possible.
I do too. Now I may sound like this a little bit when I come back, but that'll clear up too. But I will be back, and everything will be just fine. But
You're so brave.
Thanks for allowing me to share, and I hope someone out there listening gets the help that they need as well.
Okay. Thank you, Luke Ducey. We need to check in with Ted for traffic.
Best wishes there, Luke. Okay, going forward. Best wishes. All right. Speaking of traffic, we've got a traffic alert in Tacoma on northbound I-5 near the 74th interchange. Got a crash involving a semi and up to 10 vehicles. It has blocked all lanes. And this is going to take some time to clear. Traffic is being detoured onto the 74th exit and has created a long delay. To avoid the backup, which right now goes to around State Route 512, well, take eastbound 512 to the Valley Freeway or some of those local surface streets. You know them well. The crash also involved the Jersey barrier with one lane of southbound I-5 also blocked at that scene. Your Olympia to State Route 512 drive time, that is just over a half hour at this point. Elsewhere, we got some slowdowns involving drivers that are vectoring around that Tacoma crash on eastbound 512 down the hill into Puyallup and northbound 167 from Sumner to Pacific. The rest of the Puget Sound region is moving pretty well, though there is some crowding on northbound 405 through the Renton curves. Your Puyallup to Renton drive time, that's sitting in about 35 minutes, which is pretty good compared to northbound I-5. Other drive times, Tacoma to Seattle is 41 minutes. Renton to Bellevue, that is 15 minutes. And from the north end, Everett to Seattle or Bellevue, both of those are still just under a half hour. Very good at this time. I'm Ted Beener with KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic.
Hot and a little smoky today for your weather. We're going to be 86 degrees and overnight in the high 50s, so that's a little bit of relief. Tomorrow we're starting cloudy, a high of 83, but then partial sunshine expected late. It's 63 degrees right now in downtown Seattle.
From ABC News, Wall Street Now. The World Cup helped to kick Airbnb's revenues into high gear in the latest quarter. The short-term rental company says the soccer tournament helped to push the number of people trying the service for the first time to heights it hasn't seen in years. Revenue for the quarter just ended topped $3.6 billion, beating expectations at Airbnb. The produce company at the center of a nationwide outbreak of the cyclosporiasis stomach bug is also having trouble in the executive suite. Taylor Farms has sued the former president of its Tennessee subsidiary, claiming he stole more than $32 million to fund a lavish lifestyle. And Taylor Farms wants its money back. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
The economy lost 23,000 jobs in July, according to the latest federal report. It's an unexpected drop. Analysts had expected the economy to add jobs. The unemployment rate is now 4.1%. We turn to ABC's Elizabeth Schultze covering the economy and markets.
This is job losses last month, and the expectation had been that we would see over 80,000 new jobs added. There are certain sectors where the jobs were lost by the biggest amounts: local government, education, retail, hotels, and food services. We did also see a drop in the participation rate, meaning fewer people were trying to find work.
And on Wall Street right now, we are opening in positive territory. The Dow is up 63 points. That's 0.1%. The S&P 500 is ahead by 21. That's 0.27%. And the NASDAQ is ahead by 207 points. That's 0.7%.
Start your day with solutions, not problems. KIRO 7 pinpoint weather and real-time traffic every 10 minutes. From storms to backups, whatever you run into, you will be prepared. Stay up to the minute every 10 minutes. KIRO 7 pinpoint weather and real-time traffic only on KIRO 7 News in the Morning.
Okay, Ted, what's coming up in traffic?
Well, we got that big crash on northbound I-5 and near the 74th Street interchange. It's closed the freeway. Details about that in a few moments.
Charlie Harger.
I want to be a watchdog.
From Seattle's Morning News.
Somebody who is not accepting from the government at face value what they're telling you. I might not even be necessarily against a politician, but if I see an issue or a policy that I think are worthy of a conversation, I'm going to bring it up.
Hear Charlie's 7:35 commentary every morning on Seattle's Morning News.
You can watch all of Charlie's commentaries anytime on the KIRO Newsradio YouTube channel.
The opening bell is brought to you by Legacy Group Capital Common Sense Lending.
I
I love a girls' weekend, but my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis can sometimes take me out of the moment. Now I'm all in with clearer skin, thanks to Skyrizi, risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy.
You can usually find me in the kitchen, but my active psoriatic arthritis can limit me at times. Now I'm still in the mix with Skyrizi to treat my joint symptoms.
With Skyrizi, most people with plaque psoriasis saw 90% clearer skin when measured from head to toe at 4 months.
Or if you're an adult with active psoriatic arthritis, Skyrizi helps you move with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines.
There's nothing like clearer skin.
There's nothing like better movement, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi. Visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
1-877 Cards for Kids. KARS Cards for Kids.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 877 Cars for Kids to reach a friendly live agent. Donation is super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now or go to carsforkids.org.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
Don't wait, insulate. Last year, American Crawl Space and Pest Services gave over $2 million in insulation rebates from PSE, more than any provider in the state. If your home was built before 1990, you're eligible for recouping up to 95% of insulation replacement costs. Insulate with American Crawl Space and keep your home warm during the winter and cool during the summer.
American Crawl, the heroes you call.
Be advised, this is your opportunity to save up to 40 to 80% on a hot tub or swim spa. This weekend only, today through Sunday. Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. Be advised, this is your opportunity to save up to 40 to 80% on a hot tub or swim spa. This weekend only, today through Sunday. Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. 18-month interest-free financing. Our factories have demanded we sell 1,000 hot tubs and swim spas this weekend. Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. Huge factory incentives, factory rebates, this weekend only. Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. We can remove your old hot tub. Free delivery of your new hot tub. Deep, deep discounts. Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. Free delivery of your new hot tub. Just relax and enjoy. Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. Today, 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. Saturday, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Sunday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Free admission. Free delivery. Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. Call 833-SPA-SALE or visit hottubandSwimSpaSale.com.
At 6:43, Ted Biener is watching the roads for us. How's it looking in Tacoma?
Well, we still have that traffic alert in Tacoma on northbound I-5 near the 74th interchange. It is closed thanks to a long-term crash involving a semi and up to 10 vehicles. It's blocked all the lanes. It's going to take some time to clear. We got crews there working on that right now. Traffic is being detoured on the 74th exit and has created a long delay through there too. So to avoid that backup, suggest you take alternates such as eastbound 512 to the Valley Freeway or some of those local surface streets that you know. The crash also dislodged the Jersey barrier, and we got one lane of southbound I-5 also blocked at the scene. Your Olympia to State Route 512 drive time, that is right around a half hour at this point, so still a good alternate. Elsewhere, it is Friday light with traffic moving well throughout the rest of the Puget Sound area. The only slowdowns, they involve those getting around that I-5 Tacoma crash on eastbound 512 down the hill into Puyallup. And on northbound 167 from Sumner to Pacific, we got some slowing there. The northbound 405 Renton curves are also getting more crowded. Drive times, well, your Puyallup to Renton drive time sitting at about 35 minutes, which is pretty good considering what's going on in Tacoma. Everett to Seattle Bellevue, both of those are close to a half hour. Federal Way to Seattle is 26 minutes. 17 of those are from South Center, and Renton to Bellevue is 16 minutes. Very good. A reminder, northbound 405 will close for road work from Sunset to Coal Creek Parkway from 11:30 tonight to early Monday morning. A signed detour will be in place. Southbound 405 will remain open. KIRO Newsradio, real-time traffic. I'm Ted Biener.
Looking at the forecast now, hazy and hot. 86 the high, overnight low of 59. Tomorrow we start off with morning clouds, afternoon sun. 83 the high. We'll hit 79 on Sunday. Right now in Seattle, it is smoky and 63.
Coming up, caught snoozing on live TV. One mom's viral moment has exhausted parents feeling seen. KIRO News Radio's Katrina Gashard has her parenting feature next.
Here it comes, possibly the biggest online midsummer auction anywhere of heavy equipment, trucks, tools, lumber, and much more. Presented by the Murphy Auction Company, bidding is underway now. Featured items include a 2020 Bobcat E32i excavator with less than 1,000 hours, a 2016 Freightliner 2100 Hydrovac truck, a 2011 John Deere 310J 4x4 backhoe, and much more. 10 excavators, 4 backhoes, 11 forklifts, 5 boom and scissor lifts, 5 rollers, 28 golf carts, and more than 60 heavy trucks. But wait, there's more. Attachments, roll-off boxes, shipping containers, contractor tools, lumber, and much more all go into the highest bidder. Preview all items August 11th and 12th, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. at our location in Marysville, 3803 136th Street Northeast. For pictures, catalogs, and all details, visit murphyauction.com. That's murphyauction.com. murphyauction.com.
Endless hours of research, seeking referrals, dozens of calls. Hiring the right attorney can be a challenging process during an already difficult time. JP Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains.
In Washington State, Tom, there are thousands of attorneys to choose from. Referrals and online research can be helpful, but discovering the right attorney requires a conversation. It can be hard to identify integrity and authenticity without that interaction.
So, what do you recommend?
We encourage anyone looking for personal injury representation to call for a free consultation with our team before making a decision simply based on referrals or online research. Accident victims need an attorney that listens, demonstrates honesty, and is genuinely understanding of their unique circumstances. The care, attention, and preparation that our firm provides throughout the case mirrors the effort involved when taking on the insurance companies.
Save time and avoid mistakes after an injury. Contact the caring and compassionate team at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
This is it. These are the nights. The ones where you laugh until you can't anymore. And smile until your head hits the pillow. Where everything feels just right. Because it is. Muckleshoot Casino Resort. Must be 21 and over. Please gamble responsibly.
Seattle's Morning News on KIRO News Radio.
Thanks for joining us on a Friday morning. It's 6:48. A morning news anchor and a mom of two is going viral after appearing to briefly fall asleep during a live broadcast.
KIRO News Radio's Katrina Gashard, who knows a thing or two about early alarms and young kids, is here live with more.
Hi, guys. Fox 13 Memphis anchor Dominique Dillon, who's also a mom of two young kids, went viral after cameras caught her with her eyes closed during a live shot. So if you have not seen the video, go to our YouTube page right now. The internet had plenty of jokes, but a lot of parents had something else. Empathy and a massive wave of support. Dominique talked with NBC's Today Show and shared the backstory about what exactly was happening.
So the night before, my husband, he worked at Double at BNSF Railway. I have a 2-year-old. I have an 8-month-old. Yeah. And I was trying to get them down to sleep at 8 o'clock, but my 8-month-old, she wasn't having it.
She's fighting. She's teething. What's happening?
She was teething. She was teething, and I just couldn't console her. I gave her some teething medicine, and nothing was working. Yeah. Next thing you know, it's 10:30, 11 o'clock before I can actually get her down to sleep. And then all I have is a couple of hours of rest before I have to be up in the morning and be at work.
Okay, so as someone who also works in morning news and has 3 young kids, I 100% relate. I instantly understood and I felt her fatigue. I still feel it right now. So she talked about what went through her mind upon realizing she dozed off.
They didn't think I was sleeping. They thought I was simply looking down at my tablet. Yeah, because who falls asleep in 1 minute sitting up in front of cameras? I was pinching myself under the desk like, this has to be a nightmare. Yes. Like one of those work nightmares.
Okay, so here's the thing about parenting and morning radio and television. They're both endurance sports. Put them together, sorry guys, and you're basically training for an ultra marathon. So our morning reporter, Luke Ducey, he asked me last week, what's the hardest part of parenting right now? Without hesitation, I said, bedtime. Because even though I wake up super early, bedtime is also when the night shift begins. My son needs water. My daughter has to go to the bathroom. If they don't want to go to sleep, bedtime can just drag on and on and on. So I have to say to the morning anchor, Dominique, she deserves a medal. Not for falling asleep, but for showing the reality of being a working mom. So I know you guys here can relate. It's tough.
You know, now that I have teenagers, it's so much easier than having littles around the house. Jillian and David, both of you have very young kids, and you work some strange hours, both of you.
I have a 4-year-old, and she's always pushing the limits of bedtime. I cannot believe how much energy that child has.
And David, Gemma, I'm sure, is keeping you on your toes.
Yes, yeah. I mean, my wife gratefully puts her to bed most nights. I end up working a lot of nights at the restaurant. But nights that I am there, I'm in charge of bath time, getting her all ready for bed, and that usually drags into the 9 p.m. hour. And yeah, when I have to get up at 1:30 in the morning, it ends up being those hours are pretty short. They run thin.
Yeah, it is kind of like the Peace Corps, though, right? The toughest job you're ever going to love, and being a parent is such an honor. And I know, think about all the different work people do that maybe it's not radio or TV, but maybe they're working at some sort of plant or doing shift work. So many people can understand and feel exactly what you're talking about, Katrina.
Yeah, they're seen. You are not alone.
Any advice, by the way, for moms and dads waking up on these crazy hours, or is it just grin and bear it?
Do what you got to do. Willpower will help you get through anything.
Yeah.
Thank goodness for the sun.
Nap when they nap. Set lots of alarms. You can never have too many alarms.
See, the thing with Katrina, she has 3 kids who are probably napping at different times.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
It's all fine. I'm okay, guys.
Are you?
Yeah, I'm getting there.
You're doing a great job.
Well, thank you for that, Katrina. Always appreciate having you in as we talk about parenting on Friday mornings. It's now 6:52 here on Seattle's Morning News. Another story we are following today is the cyclosporiasis outbreak. There's another food that has people concerned.
Health officials in Michigan, the epicenter of the parasite outbreak linked to lettuce, say it's okay to eat bagged salad again. They say the contaminated produce is likely no longer available for consumption. But food safety attorney Bill Marler, who has litigated outbreaks for more than 30 years, says it should have never gotten this far.
This outbreak should have been, caught a month and a half ago.
And many Americans are still concerned. The salad chain Sweetgreen, which was never linked to the outbreak, just slashed its sales forecast for the year, blaming customers' fear of fresh produce.
It is 6:53. Ted Beener has your traffic on the threes. What are we looking at?
Well, this hour is brought to you by Home Comfort Alliance, heating, air conditioning, plumbing, and electrical. We still have that traffic alert in Tacoma. Northbound I-5 near the 74th Street interchange there. It is still closed thanks to a long-term crash involving a semi and up to 10 vehicles. Blocked all the lanes there. Crews are fixing the dislodged Jersey barrier right now, and they're sweeping the roadway to remove debris. So there is some hope it's going to open up here soon. Traffic is being detoured to the 74th exit, and it's created a long delay. To avoid the backup, take alternates such as eastbound 512 to the Valley Freeway, or take some of those local surface streets that you know. And that dislodged Jersey barrier has also closed one lane of southbound I-5 at the scene. Your Olympia to State Route 512 drive time, that is about 35 minutes. Elsewhere, slowdowns involve drivers getting around the Tacoma crash on eastbound 512 down the hill into Puyallup, as well as northbound 167 from Sumner to Pacific. Your Puyallup to Renton drive time, about 35 minutes. Other areas of slowing include crowding on northbound 405 through the Renton curves. We've got some brake lights on northbound I-5 from Albro to I-90, and now southbound I-5 from Northgate to the Ship Canal has got some slowing there. Drive times, Tacoma to Seattle, 42 minutes, Renton to Bellevue, 18 minutes, and from the north end, Everett to Seattle, Bellevue, both are just over a half hour. Home Comfort Alliance repairs first, replacing only if it makes sense. Ask about a heat pump for year-round comfort. Get real pricing in 60 seconds at homecomfortalliance.com. I'm Ted Beener with KIRO Newsradio Real-Time Traffic.
Looking at the forecast, we're expecting to have a high of 86 today. Still some smoke, not as thick as it was yesterday, and definitely not as much as the day before. Tomorrow, we are expecting a high of 83, even less smoke. Should be fairly cleared out by Sunday with a high in the upper 70s, maybe touching 80 degrees. Right now in Seattle, it is 59 at 6:55.
Our inbox is always open for your news tips and story ideas at mynorthwest.com. And you can contact the show by texting us too on the Muckleshoot Casino Resort text line 888-973-5476.
I've lived here almost my entire life.
Seattle's morning news host, Charlie Harger.
I love Seattle. I love that I'm able to raise my children here.
Hear Charlie's 7:35 commentary every morning on Seattle's morning news.
So when I see something that I think might need some attention, that's me pointing out areas of improvement. That is not me saying that Seattle is somehow bad.
You can watch all of Charlie's commentaries anytime on the KIRO Newsradio YouTube channel.
You bought an RV, and you got an automatic discount from Progressive by bundling it with your home or auto insurance. That's great, but a serious word of warning every RVer should heed. You don't need to talk about things like dry weight or dump stations. And you don't need one of those expensive water filter straws either. Because the most extreme thing most RVers encounter is a campsite without hookups. So just enjoy yourself and Progressive's automatic discount when you bundle your RV, boat, or motorcycle with your home or auto insurance. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Not available in all states or situations.
Wait, everything on this IHOP value menu is just $6?
I told you it was amazing. A huge plate of pancakes, bacon, and eggs is just $6.
Wow.
There's also French toast, a ham and cheese omelet, and oh, they got a BLT and fries now.
Okay, we're coming here every day.
You don't have to tell me twice.
Feast for just $6 with the IHOP value menu. $7 in some locations, available every day for a limited time at participating restaurants in the U.S. Hours may vary. No substitutions. Not valid with other discounts or promotions. Prices may vary.
Hey, how's your money situation? Are you ready for retirement? Well, if you want to know what the pros are doing to make wealth multiply and retire like royalty, then you need to listen to this show, Sound Path Through Retirement, with Ben Koval and Matt Leibarger. Get your money right and tune in every weekend, Saturdays at 10 a.m. and noon on KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM.
Jason Rance here. If your water heater is getting older, leaking, or running out of hot water, CM Heating has an affordable solution. Get a new gas or electric water heater installed starting at just $44.99 a month. With CM Heating's Comfort as a Service program, you'll get lifetime repairs and maintenance at no extra charge. Parts and labor covered for life. Plus, same-day installation is available in many cases. Schedule your free estimate today at cmheating.com.
License number CMHEAHL 750LP.
So what are you reading?
I'm checking out the ratings on the new TVs, and it looks like Samsung, LG, and Sony got the best scores.
Just like last year. What about those new high dynamic range TVs?
They got the highest scores of all, but their prices are really high.
Did you check online?
Yeah, their prices were about the same.
Well, there's one place where we can get a hot deal on those top-rated models.
Where?
At Video Only. Check out the ratings on TV stores.
I see. Video Only scored better than the others.
So, if you want the best deal on the best TVs,
then we should take our TV ratings and head over to top-rated Video Only.
At Video Only, you won't find huge stores with refrigerators or microwaves, but you will find the best deals on top-rated TVs, soundbars, and monitors. Shop around. Just make sure you visit Video Only, because if you don't,
you'll be sorry.
In South Center, Bellevue, Linwood, Federal Way, and Tacoma, Video Only.
Guys, your testosterone level impacts your energy, drive, weight, hair loss, and even ED. Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your T level for free. For your free T level check, exam, and consultation, call 206-529-1111 or visit revivemenshealth.com.
Nearly half the homes in Western Washington are not properly insulated or not insulated at all. Sound like your home? Then call for your free inspection.
InsulationNorthwest.com.
Anthony Hamilton with Tony, live in the Tulalip Amphitheater, Thursday, September 10th. Tickets are on sale now. Details at TulalipCasino.com.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio, KIRO FM, and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle, Northwest News.
ABC News, I'm Mike Dubusky. Experts had been expecting the Labor Department to add more than 80,000 jobs in July. Well, according to the latest report from the Labor Department, it actually lost 23,000. Local government, education, and retail trade saw especially steep declines. A New Mexico court wants the parent company of Facebook and Instagram to pay up again. ABC's Elizabeth Schulze.
The judge ordering Meta to pay $567 million, mostly toward mental health treatment programs. That's on top of a previous $375 million fine determined by a jury in March. Prosecutors from the state of New Mexico presenting internal Meta documents, saying the company knew features on its apps could lead to child exploitation, and it ignored the dangers.
Meta says it will appeal. And Lisa Murkowski has become the second Republican to oppose the confirmation of Todd Blanche as Attorney General. He can only afford to lose one more vote. This is ABC News. There is new backlash against Amanda Knox over her scheduled performance today at the Edinburgh Fringe Performing Arts Festival. Her stand-up show is called Cartwheel, a reference to a story that claimed Knox did cartwheels in the police station after the death of her roommate, Meredith Kirscher, in 2007. Knox was convicted and then later acquitted of murdering her. Kirscher's sister, Stephanie, spoke to Sky News about Knox's upcoming show.
In this instance, I think there was quite a sort of impact on many people. We felt very strongly that the violence surrounding the theme is not appropriate for a platform at a comedy show.
There are lingering delays after the closure of Midwest airspace yesterday. Hundreds of flights were unable to take off. Others were forced to divert due to an outage at a Minneapolis air traffic control facility. That shutdown affected flights in at least 9 states yesterday. I'm Mike Dubusky, ABC News.
At 7:02 Friday morning, here's what's happening.
Court documents revealed the suspected Spokane arsonist confessed to setting at least 25 fires over the past year, including one that burned more than 1,200 acres.
A dramatic overnight rescue on the Green River. Crews in kayaks and a drone with infrared cameras found a tuber stranded on a rock in complete darkness after a 2.5-hour search.
A police drone helped Redmond officers quickly track down a suspect accused of robbing a Target and threatening security with pepper spray.
And the girls from Snohomish take the field at noon today with softball World Series semifinal berth on the line, facing a Florida squad that hasn't allowed a single run all tournament. Time to check traffic now. We do that every 10 minutes with Ted Beener.
Oh, it's a busy Friday, believe it or not. This traffic report is brought to you by the Seattle Mariners. The traffic alert in Tacoma continues. We got crews working to clean up and fix the dislodged Jersey barrier on northbound I-5 near the 74th interchange. It is closed thanks to a long-term crash involving a semi and up to 10 vehicles that had blocked all lanes. Crews are also sweeping the roadway to remove the debris. Traffic is being detoured to the 74th Street exit and has created a long delay. To avoid the backup, take alternates such as eastbound 512 to the Valley Freeway or surface streets. One lane of southbound I-5 is also closed thanks to the dislodged Jersey barrier. Your Olympia to State Route 512 drive time is about 35 minutes. And thanks to the text line, got a report of a new crash on northbound 167 right at the interchange as you come out of Sumner there from 410. So be aware of that as well. You might want to use those surface streets in Tacoma. Elsewhere, other current slowdowns involve those getting around the Tacoma crash on eastbound 512 down the hill into Puyallup. And, of course, that incident there on northbound 167. Your Puyallup to Renton drive time, that is at about 35 minutes. Other slowdowns include northbound 405 Renton curves, and northbound I-5 from Albro into downtown, and southbound I-5 from Northgate into downtown. Your drive times, Everett to Seattle Bellevue, both of those are just over a half hour. Federal Way to Seattle is 25 minutes. 16 of those are from South Center, and Renton to Bellevue, that is now close to 20 minutes. Don't miss the biggest event of the year at T-Mobile Park, 50 Seasons Celebration Night on August 8th. Presented by Daktronics. Get your tickets at mariners.com. I'm Ted Beener with KIRO Newsradio Real-Time Traffic.
Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and mynorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue,
Seattle's morning news.
Good morning, 7:04, along with Jillian Raftery, who's filling in for Manda Factor. I'm Charlie Harger. New court documents reveal an arson suspect confessed to detectives he started the Old Trails fire in Spokane.
Fire has destroyed around 900 structures, forcing thousands of people to evacuate their homes. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey is here with the latest.
Now, Jillian, those court documents say 37-year-old Aaron Farinacci admitted that he had planned that fire for 2 weeks. He even researched wind and humidity conditions to maximize the damage. Well, here's about the only thing he said during his arraignment yesterday.
Aaron Forrest Farinacci, 1989.
The witness told KIRO 7 TV this week he saw the suspect acting suspicious and called 911.
Said, holy and where the smoke was rising was where that individual was standing, and I told myself, I said, that SOB started a fire.
Prosecutors say Farinacci also set at least 25 other fires over the last year. He's now going to undergo a mental competency evaluation, and his bail was raised to $2 million. As for the latest on the fires in and around Spokane, the fires slowed over the last couple of days. That's great news, however. There's growing frustration from folks who were evacuated this past week, still not being allowed back home. Sheriff John Knowles responded to those heated discussions late yesterday.
Those burn areas are absolutely not safe for people to be in, and the decision for us to let the public into those areas will be when we are confident that there is no risk to their life immediately or into the future.
He says first responders are battling smaller fires that keep popping up here and there in neighborhoods. And think about this, firefighters are on the front lines carrying the heavy equipment. It's hot out. They're dealing with toxic smoke from burning homes and burning cars.
They are wearing full self-contained breathing apparatuses because of the hazardous materials that are airborne, hazardous materials that are introduced into the air when people go through those areas, things that are very, very toxic and very, very dangerous to humans.
You know, Jillian and Charlie, these are the real heroes, right? There are 1,500 firefighters battling these blazes from 23 different states. No loss of life. Incredible. And they are just doing a heck of a job putting those fires out and keeping people safe.
Staying on top of it. Thank you, Luke. It's 7:07.
If you're headed to the Olympic Peninsula this weekend, leave the firewood at home. Burn bans are starting to go into effect around our state, including a campfire ban now in effect for both Olympic National Forest and Olympic National Park because of very high fire danger. The restriction also covers charcoal grills. Fire managers say preventing human-caused fires is critical as crews continue battling multiple wildfires across the Northwest.
Also a Stage 2 burn ban in King County. No burning yard debris or to clear land. Also banned recreational fires like wood fire pits, campfires. This covers unincorporated King County. The notice says it's just too dry and hot that the firefighting resources are stretched thin, and even small fires are more dangerous at this time of year.
Major road work is back in full swing across the Puget Sound region. KIRO 7 TV's Tyra Majors reports several projects are overlapping this weekend.
The biggest traffic impacts will start on the east side with the full closure of northbound I-405 between North Southport Drive and Coal Creek Parkway starting late tonight until early Monday morning. Using I-5 as an alternate route will be a bit tough because Revive I-5 is still going on. We have 2 lanes reduced there across the Ship Canal Bridge for Revive I-5, and that's happening until the end of the year. In the middle of all this, the Mariners are home all weekend for their 50th season celebration. And the Seahawks will also host Football Fest tomorrow night at Lumen Field, adding even more cars to the roads around the stadium district.
News matters. Experience counts. You're listening to Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
All right, it's Friday. Thanks for being here. Jillian is filling in for Amanda today. Getting the hang of it?
Yeah.
Yeah?
It's Amanda makes it look really easy.
She does.
It's actually really hard.
Yeah, she's done it for so many years. I a lot of
She's
times
incredible.
I'll feel like, oh.
We miss you, Amanda.
Yes, she will be back soon. Sully is taking the weekend off. It's his birthday tomorrow, so I hope you got him something nice.
I got him some coal.
Okay. Coal for his birthday. I think that's double bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds like our Sully, though. No, happy birthday to the big guy. And, of course, in the studio right now, Ted Beener is filling in for Sully. Ted, this has just been a busy morning. It's not supposed to be like this.
No, it's supposed to be Friday light.
Yeah.
And here we are with not just one crash, got another one to report here in just a few minutes.
Okay, we'll stay on top of that. Producer David Burbank is in the studio. David, we're not going to talk about yesterday's Mariners game together because That was something.
And I blame you.
Yeah.
You went there on a whim, and I believe that was the reason why what happened.
Okay. All right. Well, we might have some details in a couple minutes here. Nick Neihart filling in for Nick Krasha this morning at the control room, and Katrina Gishard is out at the news desk following the big stories today.
And one of those big stories, police are asking for the public's help after what they say was a violent hate crime in downtown Seattle. We turn to KIRO Newsradio's James Lynch for details.
The attack happened just after 9 p.m. Tuesday night. Two men walking near 8th and Stewart say a stranger threw a bottle with an unknown liquid at them, shouted homophobic and racial slurs, and physically assaulted them. But he didn't get away. Here's SPD Detective Shane Weatherford.
The two men were able to call 911 and they pinned the suspect to the ground until officers arrived.
Police arrested a 40-year-old man and booked him into the King County Jail. If you have any information about this attack, call 911. James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
Suspect accused of stealing from a Redmond Target and threatening security with pepper spray was quickly arrested thanks to a police drone. Redmond police say the suspect ran out of the store Tuesday after confronting employees.
He's still running southbound towards Home Depot. He's got a red Target bag that'll really stand out.
Officers say he surrendered without incident. Police recovered nearly $500 in stolen property, found pepper spray, an illegal spring-loaded knife, drug paraphernalia, and suspected fentanyl.
Washington's Softball Little League World Series team faces a familiar foe in the quarterfinals today. They'll take on Florida, the team that beat them 14-0 in the first game of the tournament. After that, though, the squad from Snohomish staged a big comeback, including with a win Wednesday against Canada.
JoJo Day hops it to left. Maddie Locke is going to try to come home. 3-0 Washington, and Day diving back into first.
Final score was 9-1, first pitch today at noon.
Never a good sign when your right fielder ends up pitching, but that's what happened to the Mariners yesterday in a lopsided loss to the Detroit Tigers.
The Tigers add 3 more off of Victor Robles, position player, getting a chance to pitch here in the top of the 9th inning.
Yeah, Victor Robles got called in. 11-0 was the final score. It was the second time in 3 games the Tigers held the M scoreless. It was also the Mariners' 11th time being shut out this season. That is the worst in Major League Baseball this season. Seattle now 4 games under 500 and 3 back of the first place Houston Astros. 7:12 now here on Seattle's Morning News. It's time to check the weather. We check that every 10 minutes or so on KIRO News Radio. And it looks like we will have a high of 86 with sunshine today, mixed with smoke. 83 tomorrow, less smoke. And on Sunday, we have sunny skies, maybe some clouds, and a high of 79. Right now in Seattle, it's 61.
And at 7:13, we're going to check in with Ted Biener for traffic.
All right, this traffic report is brought to you by Carpet Liquidators. Got great news in Tacoma. Northbound I-5 is back open for all lanes after clearing a long-term crash that involved a semi and up to 10 vehicles that blocked all the lanes. So again, northbound I-5 is back open. In addition, we have a crash that's on northbound 167 just north of 410. And looking on the cams, looks like it's moved over to the shoulder, not blocking. We do have slowing approaching the scene, though. Your Puyallup to Renton drive time is 35 minutes. Otherwise, it may be Friday light for traffic, but current slowdowns include crowding on northbound 405 through the Renton curves. Got some brake lights on northbound I-5 from Albro into downtown, and southbound I-5 from Northgate to the Ship Canal Bridge. Other drive times, Lippy to Tacoma, that is about 30 minutes. Tacoma to Seattle is 42 minutes. Renton to Bellevue is 21 minutes. And from the north end, Everett to Seattle, Bellevue, both of those are just over a half hour. August is Karastan month at Carpet Liquidators. Purchase beautiful Karastan carpet and get free insulation. Why pay retail? They got you covered at Carpet Liquidators. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Ted Biener.
Seattle's tradition for news and conversation. This is Seattle's Morning News with Charlie Harger and Manda Factor.
7:14 now. We now know who will be on the ballot throughout Washington state come Election Day in November after the primary election has wrapped up. Let's break down the big races on the ticket with Jerry Cornfield from the Washington State Standard. Jerry, I actually went to David Burbank, our producer, this morning when he said, "Oh yeah, Jerry Cornfield's going to be on." I said, "Oh, cool! I'm always glad to have you on and getting some of your insight, Jerry." I wanted to start with District 43. That was expected to be hotly contested with Jamie Peterson, the Democratic Majority Leader in the Senate, going up against an upstart socialist. What is your analysis after that election is said and done?
There were a lot of people who were wrong about how close it would be. I mean, primaries are difficult in general. I mean, the representative, Senator Peterson, has got a very high profile. He's an easy target, and there was a lot of talk and there's a lot of energy behind Ms. Howell, and so it felt like what was going on in New York with the Democratic Socialists was going to swing all the way to Seattle. That didn't happen, and it happens a lot in that district. There's a lot of excitement for challengers to the incumbents because there's a lot of energy in the rank and file Democrat voters there. I mean, I can remember House Speaker Frank Chopp. He used to face opponents all the time, and people thought he was, is he vulnerable? Is he vulnerable? And he wasn't. So I think we got a good test of where things are now. This is a good thing for the senator. Sometimes these incumbents are around, and those in power forget that they do need to knock on doors. They do need to go through the community and reconnect. So on that point, I think it's been a helpful campaign, and she'll be there in November too. So these issues that she wants to talk about will continue to be discussed in Seattle and around the state.
I was pretty surprised to see attack ads against Jamie Peterson in the primary.
Well, I think it catches some of us by surprise when the leadership find themselves under fire as opposed to some, a race in the middle of the state or somewhere else in the state where it's been very competitive. But it's a good thing. I think democracy has to be fought in all 39 counties and all the legislative districts. He's not the only incumbent that found himself opposed by folks in his own party. And I think they also will get a kind of a reminding that it's not a free ride every 2 years or every 4 years.
Well, let's take a look at the federal races. The close one, at least on this side of the state, Marie Gluesenkamp-Perez versus John Braun. John did get the plurality of the votes in this race. What are you watching for?
Well, I think the big thing there is that the Congresswoman had a Democrat opponent, and Brett Henrick has been very open in the last 48 hours since the election that he's not going to support her. And he did receive over 15% of the vote, and in terms of total, I think it's close to 30,000 so far. So those are 30,000 people who decided in a primary, and these are active, engaged voters in a primary, who say, look, the person there now is not our first choice. So they have a decision to make come November. Do they decide we're going to stick with the party and the incumbent because she's in our party and we want to get control of the U.S. House? Or do we sit it out, skip it? Right, we'll go to the next race because we still don't want to cast a vote for her. And those individuals will, I think, decide the race.
Were you surprised by the number of people who supported that challenger from the left?
No, I'm not. No, not given the energy that's going on in this state and around the country. Look, you had a challenger to Senator Peterson. You have challengers to the left of several incumbents in this state. And if you look across the country, there are challenges within the party. There's a group of Democrats and Democrat voters who are, that's kind of an anti-incumbent, anti-establishment frustration that is brought in part because of the Trump administration, the policies and what's happening there. There is more energy among those voters who align themselves with the Democratic Party or the Democrat ideals than there are in the Republican Party right now in Washington and a lot of places in the country. So I really think the question is, they made a decision, they spoke now. How many of those Democrats, those voters, stick with the incumbent? Because you can't afford to lose that seat if your goal is to retake control of the House and to eventually the White House and the Senate. I mean, you can't just ignore races that are that important.
I just wish I were an advertiser in Southwest Washington, because a ton of ad money must be about to be spent in this race.
Well, sure, but they do advertise in Seattle.
Oh,
so you could come up.
There's interest everywhere in this race. It's the hottest
Attention,
race in
Democrats and
Washington
Republicans.
State.
Call us at KIRO
The thing is, with the
Newsradio.
internet, the digital ads, and it is a national race. There's going to be a lot, because you mentioned the congressional race, and underneath and underlying the congressional race are two legislative districts, the number 17 and number 18. All four Republican lawmakers in those two districts are in second. They're going to advance, but they're not winning. So there's going to be a lot of energy in Southwest Washington, both human energy and cash, to try to change the outcomes in those legislative races.
And of course, just to bring it back for all our listeners, why we care about Southwest Washington right now, the balance of Congress hangs here. That's what's at stake with this congressional race.
Yeah, I think they say 18, across the country, districts that are even sort of in play, where a Democrat could beat a Republican in their minds, that are up for grabs. This is one of those races that they're looking at in Washington, D.C., that could change the control of Congress or House.
We're speaking with Jerry Cornfield from the Washington State Standard. Let's pivot over to the state Supreme Court, because we have some pretty hard-fought races here. What are some of your takeaways, Jerry?
Well, it's going to be interesting how this plays out, because the four candidates who were sort of backed or endorsed by the Republican Party, they're going to be on the ballot. So there are going to be some clear choices and some partisan forces involved come November. I'm not surprised that the two appointees of Governor Bob Ferguson make it through. I mean, they, by nature, by having that endorsement, by being on the bench, they gain a little bit of sort of incumbent power. I think the interesting race is going to be whether Dave Larson, a former judge who's running again for Supreme Court, can pull it off this time. I mean, he is against one of those appointees, Theo Angelis, and Larson's name has been out there. People have seen it.
This is a tough one, right? Most of these candidates are not really known to the majority of voters, but this is a really consequential race when it comes to laws in our state.
Yeah, this is one where it's probably one of the voters are probably the lowest information campaigns, and they tend to be the least informed. These candidates can't just go out and say, here's how I feel about this issue or that issue. Like the income tax is likely to reach them. So it makes it hard. They have to read. There are some websites, and then they just have to do the research.
When do you think people finally start paying attention to this race? I've always said that it's a terrible idea to have a primary election the first Tuesday in August when nobody is paying attention. When do people start paying attention?
The Democrats have been paying attention, as they turned out in the primary. But I think overall, it tends to be really October, and we've gone back to a trend where voters wait till the last weekend to vote and read their voter pamphlet. And so there's going to be a lot of money spent trying to convince them in the next 60 days that may be wasted. But those close races, hopefully it won't be for the candidates, but it's October.
Jerry Cornfield, Washington State Standard. Jerry, glad to have you here. We look forward to talking to you as we approach the election.
Thank you very much. I appreciate being here.
Thanks, Jerry.
7:23 now. Time to check in with Ted Beener. Ted, we still have that issue in Tacoma?
Oh, it's gone. I got some good news there. This traffic report is brought to you by Seattle Sports. I want to repeat the good news in Tacoma. Northbound I-5 is back open for all lanes after clearing a long-term crash that involved a semi and up to 10 vehicles that blocked all lanes. In addition, the crash on northbound 167 just north of 410, that looks to have cleared. All lanes are open, though there is slowing from Sumner to Pacific. Your Puyallup to Renton drive time is 35 minutes. On the Muckleshoot Casino Resort text line at 888-973-5476. Got a report of a rear-end crash on the ramp from northbound 167 to 405 and another crash on westbound I-90 near the Issaquah Highlands ramp where a car has spun out into the guardrail and is facing the wrong direction. Otherwise, you would think it's Friday light. We do have some current slowdowns, though. They include northbound 405 from the Renton curves into Newcastle Northbound I-5 has some braking from Albro into downtown, and southbound I-5, no surprise there, slows from Northgate into downtown. Drive times, Everett to Seattle, Bellevue, both of those are close to 35 minutes. Olympia to Tacoma is just over 30 minutes. Federal Way to Seattle is 27 minutes. 20 of those are from South Center. And Renton to Bellevue is now 22 minutes. Search Seattle Sports on YouTube and click subscribe to get fresh video content daily. I'm Ted Beenan with KIRO Newsradio Real-Time Traffic.
It is a comfortable 62 degrees right now in downtown Seattle, but it's going to be hazy and hot with a high of 86, cooling down to the high 50s overnight for the next few days. Starting out Saturday morning, cloudy and getting up to 83 degrees with partial sunshine in the afternoon. But all of this smoke is clearing out. We're going to be a lot clearer for the rest of into next week. Coming up, more of the day's top local headlines. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey has an important update on his health that you are going to want to listen to. Our morning reporter is having a big time procedure next week. Plus, in today's commentary, why the county is telling me to pay over $1,000.
That's
Charlie.
Me. That's me.
Yes. Hello, San Diego.
Yes.
$1,000. Charlie paying $1,000 for their mistake. Charlie is going to go into more detail coming up.
That's at 7:35. This is Seattle's Morning News. Word for closets by design. Mornings fall apart when closets don't work. The pantries jam. Garage is useless. Most homes are just never designed for real life. Closets by Design isn't just closets. It's garages, pantries, laundry rooms, home offices, wall beds, all custom built in Kent. Nothing off a shelf. Everything finally has a place in your home. Limited time, 40% off, plus an additional 15% off, and 18 months, 0% financing on approved credit if paid in full. Go to closetsbydesign.com or call 1-800-BY-DESIGN to get your project started today. I've lived here almost my entire life.
Seattle's morning news host, Charlie Harger.
I love Seattle. I love that I'm able to raise my children here.
Hear Charlie's 7:35 commentary every morning on Seattle's Morning News.
So when I see something that I think might need some attention, that's me pointing out areas of improvement. That is not me saying that Seattle is somehow bad.
You can watch all of Charlie's commentaries anytime on the KIRO Newsradio YouTube channel.
This hour is brought to you by CM Heating.
Mom, she was living on her own and scared. We didn't feel it was very safe for her. And we found Aegis. Love it. Everybody is so welcoming and she is just so safe here.
She has serious Alzheimer's disease. But when she sees me, she smiles, she gives me a hug, and we dance together.
Aegis Living helps you understand your choices so the right decision feels easier. Visit aegisliving.com and see why so many families say, Aegis Living, this must be the place. At Subaru of Puyallup, customers say it's the little things that make a big difference. A team that listens, straightforward pricing, seamless service scheduling, having the exact car, and a stress-free experience. And now, through August 31st, take advantage of incredible financing on select new models during the Subaru A Lot to Love event. For all the little things, choose Subaru of Puyallup, your stress-free dealership, part of the Harnish Auto family. Visit SubaruofPuyallup.com.
Hartley here from Wilcox Farms. For over 100 years, my family's been committed to doing what's right. At Wilcox Family Farms, that means caring for our hens with healthy pasture environments and a diet of organic grains and flax seeds. It's how we produce eggs that are wholesome, flavorful, and good for you. Next time you're at an egg case in your local store, we hope you feel good about choosing Wilcox eggs. Wilcox Family Farms, locally fresh since 1909.
Hi, I'm Terry from Sky Nursery, and our summer event season is here. We have something exciting planned for you every weekend all summer long. See thousands of beautiful flowers at the 50th Anniversary Dahlia Show. Enjoy a 2-day Ikebana exhibition on Japanese floral arranging. Join workshops on mosaics, bonsai, and even carnivorous plant terrariums. As a family-owned garden center, Sky Nursery loves partnering with local artists and makers to celebrate a vibrant creative community. See our summer schedule at skynursery.com.
Summer calls for road travel across our region. Have you noticed more vehicles on our highways and local roads? Obviously, traffic in the city is going to be crowded, especially with the Ship Canal Bridge construction. But there have been a ton more people heading north on I-5 and east on I-90 for weekends and holidays than again on Sundays coming home. More people on the roads means more accidents. And if you're not careful, you'll find yourself on the shoulder exchanging information. If you're one of the unlucky ones or know a friend or family member, reverse your fortune by having Harold Carr Law Offices deal with insurance. While you're resting, receiving physical therapy, and taking time off work, Harold Carr Law Offices will negotiate with insurance on your behalf while compiling necessary paperwork and getting you the best recovery possible. 7 locations across Western Washington and a track record of success for their clients. Carr is spelled with 2 R's. C-A-R-R. CarLaw.com. C-A-R-R. Car accident? Call Carr.
Meet Lee Platts, a renter whose possessions fill not only her apartment, but also the darkest corners of a mini storage unit. A land of both truth and fiction. Truth, everything inside is protected by Progressive. Fiction, one day Lee will fit into her clothes from senior year of high school. Renters, discover coverage for what you love and what you can't get rid of in Progressive's Protection Zone. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers.
Sleep Number's new collections are designed to adapt to the changing nature of your life and your sleep needs. Whether it's the personalized comfort of the Comfort Mode mattress, the targeted pressure relief of the Comfort Next mattress, or the Climate Collection that actively cools or warms to help you fall asleep and stay asleep.
And now, get early access to our biggest sale of the year. Save 25% on the new Comfort Next Luxe for a limited time. Only at a Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com.
Your old water heater's starting to peter. DayandNight.net. Day and Night has $150 off installation of any new water heater, including tankless, backed by a free lifetime warranty.
Hi, I'm Bruce. When your old water heater leaks or fails, the damage could be catastrophic. Whether you need an emergency replacement or you're planning ahead before it leaks, give us a call and we'll help you get into hot water again.
Get $150 off installation of any new water heater.
DayandNight.net.
Your VA loan and reverse mortgage experts for 34 years. Best Mortgage is proud to be the longest running mortgage company on KIRO Radio. Get a no pressure consultation from a real person, never an AI bot. Web search Best Mortgage for honest advice you can trust.
Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue,
Seattle's Morning News.
At 7:30, I'm Jillian Raftery with Charlie Harger.
Our colleague Luke Ducey is about to go on an extended leave of absence.
He's having surgery early next week, and he's right here now to share more about this new journey with all of us. And Luke, you are so brave.
Oh, I'm trying to be, and that's because I have got a tumor in the middle of my head, just underneath my brain. And next week, I'm going to have surgery to remove it. The tumor is benign. It's not cancer, and I mean this when I say there are so many people out there facing diagnoses and challenges far more difficult than mine. My heart goes out to you and your families. That said, in the last year, though, I thought I was losing myself, and I learned there was a reason. I know that now, and now I'm fighting to get my old self back, which is kind of exciting. I'm hoping by telling my story that it might help someone pay attention to symptoms they may have and to advocate for themselves to check it out. And I'm already hearing on our text line similar stories from people, which is fantastic. We're not alone. A lot of people are going through this. More on that in a second. But in May, after a series of doctor visits, blood tests, and an MRI, I was told I have a pituitary macroadenoma. So what that is a tumor on my pituitary gland, which sits smack dab in the middle of your head, right below the brain. The tumor is pressing on some pretty important stuff, though. The optic nerves, and they're right there, and so are the carotid arteries. The pituitary gland, if you don't know, is pretty important. Controls a lot of stuff: energy levels, body temperature, heart rate, blood pressure, blood sugar, growth hormone, water balance, milk production for pregnant women, and a lot of other stuff. So if you think about my body is like a television. This is what a doctor told me. My pituitary gland is like the TV remote control, and my remote control is broken right now. It needs to be fixed. According to the National Institutes of Health, about 1 in 1,000 people out there have a diagnosed symptomatic pituitary adenoma. However, study suggests 1 in every 6 people. So look around. You see 6 people on the highway next to you. One of those people have a tumor like this, and they may never know it because maybe they weren't paying attention to symptoms, or maybe they didn't have any. It's pretty incredible stuff. For me, it was lower testosterone that led to another blood test, which led to that MRI, which led to the diagnosis. I thought I was just getting older, and that's what happens, right? The only symptoms I had were, lower energy, sitting on the sofa a lot. My wife didn't like that. And I'd go to work out, and I couldn't keep any muscle on. And that's when I kind of knew, hey, something's not right here. So I pushed my doctors to order blood tests, and I caught this relatively early. crazy cool part is this. The surgery is called endoscopic endonasal transphenoidal resection. Say that 5 times really quickly. Okay.
Nope.
Okay. Well, it's a fancy word of saying 2 surgeons are going to go up through my nose with specialized tools and a camera, break through 2 bones, and then grab that tumor and pull it out. Recovery can take a while. So that's where I'm going to be in the weeks here coming, recovering at home. But I'll be back. And if you're interested, I'm going to be sharing photos in a diary of this whole journey on mynorthwest.com. You know, it's getting easier and easier to talk about it, but I am being pretty vulnerable here. I had mixed emotions about even sharing this in the first place, especially to all of you listening on the radio. But you know, I'm hoping my story will help someone out there. You know, pay attention to your body. Don't ask your doctors. Tell them if something's not right. And I want to say again, thank you to everyone on the text line. I love the support. And, you know, one listener has already shared that her husband had the same thing. He had the surgery and he's doing much better now.
Well, I think a lot of people are thinking of you and praying for you, and so are we. So, Luke, keep us up to date. We'll have much more on this at 8:30.
Thank you very much, and thank you for the prayers. I appreciate that.
Take care of yourself.
Time to check traffic now. Here's Ted Beener.
All right, take care there, Luke. This hour is brought to you by Home Comfort Alliance, heating, air conditioning, and plumbing and electrical. Well, we've got a rear-end crash on the ramp from northbound 167 to 405. It's blocking one of the ramp lanes there, so a bit of a backup through there, just a couple minutes delay. And at Deception Pass on State Route 20, we got a crash there that has alternating traffic. We got backups in both directions. Elsewhere, it may be Friday light for traffic. We do have some current usual slowdowns, and they include eastbound 512 from Canyon down into Puyallup, northbound 405 from the Renton Curves into Newcastle. Got some brake lights on northbound I-5 from Albro into downtown. Southbound 405 from 195th to past the 160 at the interchange has got some slowing, and we got more slowing on southbound I-5 from Northgate into downtown. Drive times: Olympia to Tacoma is a half hour. Tacoma to Seattle is 47 minutes. Auburn to Renton, 14 minutes. Renton to Bellevue, 25 minutes. And from the north end, Everett to Seattle or Bellevue, both of those are between 35 and 40 minutes. A reminder, northbound 405 will close for road work from Sunset to Cold Creek Parkway from 11:30 tonight to early Monday morning. A signed detour will be in place, and keep in mind, southbound 405, that will remain open. Home Comfort Alliance repairs first, replacing only if it makes sense. Ask about a heat pump for year-round comfort. Get real pricing in 60 seconds at homecomfortalliance.com. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Ted Beener.
Hot and hazy with a high of 86 today, 83 tomorrow, and keep in mind, lots of fire danger. This is KIRO News Radio.
This is the city's longest-running radio news show, Seattle's Morning News on KIRO News Radio.
Time for the 7:35 commentary. Got a letter this week from the Pierce County Assessor Treasurer. So did all my neighbors. As I've mentioned before, I live in Auburn, but in the tiny sliver of the city that sits in Pierce County rather than King County, where most of Auburn lives. The letter informed us of a discrepancy on our 2026 property tax statement. Not a mistake, not an error, a discrepancy. Like it just showed up on its own, uninvited, possibly wearing a trench coat. Here's what happened. Auburn voters approved a school district levy last November. The levy changes everyone's property tax bill. Somehow, Pierce County mailed out tax statements in February without including the new levy. King County, which handles the bulk of Auburn, got it right, presumably. It seems Pierce County forgot its little corner of Auburn exists. Now, they'd like us to come up with an extra $1,100 in missing payments by November 2nd. And they'd like us to know this is definitely not their fault. Let me walk you through some of the language in this letter because it belongs in the Passive Voice Hall of Fame. We're contacting you regarding a discrepancy in your 2026 property tax statement. Not we made a mistake, contacting you regarding a discrepancy. Unfortunately, the Pierce County Assessor Treasurer's Office was informed of the true levy rate, including the approved levy, after property taxes were mailed out February 13th, 2026. A masterpiece, right? Was informed. The office is the passive victim of information arriving late, as though the levy rate wandered into the building on its own schedule and refused to check in at the front desk. Voters approved this levy in November. Statements from the office were sent out on February 13th. That's 3 months to look up one number. Someone's entire job is looking up these numbers. It goes on. The Washington State Department of Revenue is directing our office to issue updated statements. The state had to tell them to do this. We understand that this unexpected correction may cause financial hardship. Unexpected? The election results were public. The levy was approved by voters. The only people surprised by this are the people whose job it is to know. Oh, and nowhere in this letter does the word sorry appear. No apology. What does appear? 4 helpful ways to pay: online, mail, phone, in person. Very accommodating about how you can hand over the money they forgot to bill you for. There is no doubt I owe this money. The levy passed. If Pierce County had gotten it right in February, it would have been folded into my mortgage escrow. My payment would have gone up, and I wouldn't have thought twice about it. That's how it works every other year. But because Pierce County biffed it, the normal process didn't happen. So now I get to spend my afternoon on the phone with my mortgage company explaining a correction letter for an error I didn't make. Coming up with $1,100 we didn't budget for won't be a hardship for my family. But somewhere in my neighborhood this morning, someone is staring at that letter and wondering where that money comes from. A retired couple on a fixed income, a young family stretching to make the mortgage. They budgeted around the tax bill they were given in February because that's what you do when the county sends you a number. You trust it. So here's my suggestion for Assessor Treasurer Marty Campbell. It'll take about 10 seconds, Marty. Issue a public statement that says, we made a mistake. We're sorry. We should have caught this before statements went out, and we didn't. Adding a my bad would also work. It's the new the buck stops here. That's it. Wouldn't cost the county a dime. It would just require someone in government to say 2 words that apparently aren't in the style guide. We're sorry. Until then, I'll be online paying my $1,100. The website, I'm told, is very user-friendly. That's the 7:35 commentary. We'll be back with traffic.
Charlie Harger.
I want to be a watchdog.
From Seattle's Morning News.
Somebody who is not accepting from the government at face value what they're telling you. I might not even be necessarily against a politician, but if I see an issue or a policy that I think are worthy of a conversation, I'm going to bring it up.
Hear Charlie's 7:35 commentary every morning on Seattle's Morning News.
You can watch all of Charlie's commentaries anytime on the KIRO Newsradio YouTube channel.
You're great at protecting your data, but lots of places could still expose you to identity theft.
I thought it was safe.
If that happens, LifeLock gives you a U.S.-based restoration agent who will stick by your side from start to finish. Phone calls, filing documentation, preparing insurance claims, your agent handles it all. In fact, we're so confident restoration is guaranteed or your money back. Isn't it nice to have someone like that on your side? Save up to 30% with promo code NEWS at lifelock.com. Terms apply.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Guys, if you have low energy or reduced drive, it could be low testosterone. At Revive Health here in Seattle, start with a free testosterone exam and consultation with an experienced medical provider. And for a limited time, qualified patients can get started with a free month of TRT. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit revivehealth.com.
7:43 now. We check traffic on the 3s with Ted Beener.
All right, thank you. There is a rear-end crash on the ramp from northbound 167 to 405. That's blocking the left ramp lane, so move over to the right lane to get by that scene. And at Deception Pass on State Route 20, we've got a crash there that has alternating traffic, got backups in both directions. Elsewhere, you would think it would be overall Friday light. Well, we have some of those usual slowdowns, so they include northbound 405 from the Renton curves into Newcastle. Northbound I-5 had some braking from Albro into downtown. Southbound I-5 slows from Northgate into downtown. And southbound 405 That's got some slowing from 195th to past the 160th interchange. Some drive times, Everett to Seattle Bellevue, both of those are close to 40 minutes. Coming in from the south end, Olympia to Tacoma is just over 30 minutes. Federal Way to Seattle is 31 minutes. 23 of those are from South Center. Puyallup to Renton is 35 minutes, and Renton to Bellevue, that is now up to 25 minutes. In Kirkland this weekend, the 405 on and off ramps at 85th will be closed for road work starting at 10 tonight to early Monday morning. And I just got word of this one on State Route 161 through Milton. That highway is going to be closed for fish passable culverts. They're going to be working on that on the High Belows Creek tributaries, and that will be closing at 10 tonight, reopening again early on Monday morning. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Ted Biener.
Hot, hazy, a high of 86 degrees. A bunch of our state is under a heat advisory until 10 o'clock tonight. Half of our state is under a red flag warning for increased fire danger. It is cool right now, though. It's 62 degrees and a lot less smoky than yesterday.
G. Scott stops by next. Demands continue across Seattle for Mayor Katie Wilson to activate surveillance cameras in high crime area. G will stop by with his thoughts next on Seattle's Morning News.
This is it. These are the nights. The ones where you laugh until you can't anymore. And smile until your head hits the pillow. Where everything feels just right. Because it is. Muckleshoot Casino Resort. Must be 21 and over. Please gamble responsibly.
When you order a ride from a rideshare company, do you know what you're getting? Big rideshare companies have been caught failing to protect passengers from dangerous drivers and not supporting drivers and passengers after an accident, all to protect their profits. That's why if you've been injured in a rideshare vehicle, you need Davis Law Group to protect you. Their in-house team of investigators and legal staff has a successful track record of taking on rideshare companies, and they've won millions. Visit DavisLawGroupSeattle.com.
Hi, how can I help?
Well, my husband and I feel like we've outgrown our current money manager.
I see.
Our lives have changed, and we need something more than just mutual funds to help us in retirement.
She's right.
I hear that often. At Fisher Investments, we'd start by getting to know you, your finances, family, health, lifestyle. We tailor a portfolio around your goals and needs.
Sounds good.
Can you help with estate planning?
Yes. We have a team of specialists who can help you with estate planning, Social Security, investment income, and more. We'll get to know your whole financial picture and help keep you on the path to a comfortable retirement.
And your fees?
We have a simple, transparent fee that's a percentage of the value of your portfolio. So we do better when you do better.
I feel better already.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com/different. Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Summer's here, and it's the perfect time to tell you that Integrity Roofing and Construction has been serving and supporting our Puget Sound communities for 10 years. If your roof is aging, storm damaged, or just ready for an upgrade, now's the perfect time to schedule your free consultation. With products that last longer and perform better, Integrity's team brings full transparency so you know exactly what your home needs before you spend a dime. And Integrity has locations from Issaquah to Sequim to Everett and Gig Harbor. Visit IntegrityRC.com. That's IntegrityRC.com right now. Integrity Roofing and Construction, where doing the right thing matters.
Here it comes, possibly the biggest online midsummer auction anywhere of heavy equipment, trucks, tools, lumber, and much more. Presented by the Murphy Auction Company, bidding is underway now. Featured items include a 2020 Bobcat E32i excavator with less than 1,000 hours, a 2016 Freightliner 2100 Hydrovac truck, a 2011 John Deere 310J 4x4 backhoe, and much more. 10 excavators, 4 backhoes, 11 forklifts, 5 boom and scissor lifts, 5 rollers, 28 golf carts, and more than 60 heavy trucks. But wait, there's more. Attachments, roll-off boxes, shipping containers, contractor tools, lumber, and much more all go into the highest bidder. Preview all items August 11th and 12th, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. at our location in Marysville, 3803 136th Street Northeast. For pictures, catalogs, and all details, visit murphyauction.com. That's murphyauction.com. murphyauction.com.
Advanced Hair Restoration, the simple one-day hair loss solution that's guaranteed to regrow your own natural hair. AdvancedHair.com. AdvancedHair.com.
Seattle's morning news. Hear it live, stream it online, watch the show, or catch the podcast anytime on mynorthwest.com.
Well, here he is from the G and Ursula Show and the Reset podcast on mynorthwest.com. Good morning, G. Scott.
Hey, good morning, y'all. I just want to say it feels good because I have some headphones that work in both ear finally with you guys. That's why I be struggling. I'll be like, man, I can't only hear in one ear. All right. So I want to ask all of you a simple question before I start. Okay? Here we go. Today is August 7th. Between now and December 31st of this year, do you believe that Mayor Katie Wilson will turn Seattle's cameras back on?
No.
No.
David?
No, not unless something crazy were to happen.
Okay. Because we know she only turns the cameras on for the guest. For the people that live here, Now, you guys answered. Because that's really what this debate comes down to. Right now, as you all know, there's in City Council, Seattle City Council, there is this kind of debate. Council member Bob Kettle wants to keep roughly $250,000 that is there, and he wants to keep that and set it aside for the cameras and the operation of the cameras, hoping that the mayor reverses course. Meanwhile, Council President Joy Hollingsworth, she wants to use that money for community violence interrupters working on the ground for the remainder of the year. So, if you don't believe those cameras are coming back on this year, then my next question is, do you know what happens to the $250,000?
No.
Nothing. It just sits there and it goes to waste. And then in January, they replenish the fund. So again, I want to go back to the very beginning of it. That's what this is about. So some would say, no, we want to keep that money because we believe that the mayor is going to turn those cameras on. And then some, like me, or excuse me, like you, said no. Okay, if the answer is no, well then let's put that money to good use. The agitators that are out there, that are in this, disruptors that are in there, not agitators, sorry, disruptors, Thursday, Friday, Saturday nights that are out there on the ground, right? And by the way, this debate, guess whose district, guess whose area this is? This is Joy Hollingsworth. This is her area, right? Who gets impacted by crime? So those that get impacted by crime and those that are afraid of crime. I've said this before, I'll say it again. My man Omari Salisbury said it best. It always seems like those that are afraid of crime, we hear their mouths. But those impacted by crime, we don't hear them. So that's what the conversation is. And by the way, I could be wrong, no doubt. But y'all just said you don't think the cameras would be on. So if you don't think that, then that $250,000 just sits there and does nothing. It's almost like government waste.
What do you think happens, God forbid, there's some sort of act of violence in an area where these cameras are and detectives aren't able to use a resource that they would otherwise have?
Then they would fire a police chief and put up their tax lien, and they will talk about his travel and talk about everything else but the point. You see, like, look, I, in my lifetime, have been really good at this in my life, right? Where I've been absolutely messing up in all facets, right? But what I do is I show you this whole trick over here, and I want you to focus on this. Meanwhile, I am not doing anything in these areas. Can we still go back to the point? I want to ask another question. Do we have a description of the suspects or suspects that are potentially still on the loose?
From Bite of Seattle.
The next question I have, when is the latest and last update that we've had on that investigation?
Few days. I should say, by the way, they didn't provide a description of the Bite of Seattle suspects, but there was a stabbing in Georgetown yesterday, the day before, something like that. They had a description out like that. That's weird, right?
Right. Here's my last question.
Okay, because Jillian is about to kick you out here, G.
On a scale of 1 to 10, in your opinion, this administration, 10 being the highest, their angle, what they believe on public safety. Public safety is a priority for them. Scale of 1 to 10.
I haven't heard really much mention of it. I don't know what a priority it is for the administration.
Let's just say it's
I mean, apparently she's hearing things we aren't. She has a window into it.
Oh. Well, I don't have anything on that one. I'm ready to be kicked out now.
Bye. For your show crowd.
You are excused.
Take your giant iPad with you.
Jeez.
Let's get a quick check on traffic now. Thank you, G. G and Earl's 9 to noon. Ted Biener, take it away.
All right, there is a rear-end crash on the ramp from northbound 167 to 405. It's blocking the left ramp lane. Move to the right lane. Some of you have already done so, and that ramp has cleared quite a bit. Also, the crash at Deception Pass on State Route 20 has cleared. All lanes are back open there. Got some of the usual slowdowns, such as eastbound 512 from Canyon into Puyallup, northbound 167 from State Route 18 to near Willis, and approaching 405. Northbound 405 from the Renton curves into Newcastle's got some slowing. Got brake lights on northbound I-5 around the Fife curve. Down the South Center Hill, and again from Albro into downtown. And from the north end, southbound I-5 slows from Northgate into downtown. I'm Ted Biener with KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic.
Cool 62 degrees, a high of 86 today, hazy and hot. Coming up, we are going to have KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey with details on the fires in Spokane.
At Guardian Roofing, Gutters, and Insulation, a well-insulated attic can be your home's secret weapon. Upgrading attic insulation is a cost-effective way to make your home more energy efficient. It also helps keep your home warm in the winter and cool in the summer. Better insulation equals better air quality, less moisture, and no mold, improving the air quality you and your family breathe. Call now for $300 off attic ceiling and ventilation, and visit us at guardianroofing.com.
You've worked hard, saved diligently, and now retirement is on the horizon. But will your nest egg go the distance? With rising costs and uncertain markets, there's no time for oversimplified plans. Hi, Jeff here with Madrona Financial and CPAs. Don't settle for a partial plan. Get the real deal by requesting your no-cost Madrona analysis today and discover what you may be missing. Call 833-673-7373 right now to request your analysis. That's 833-673-7373.
Hi, thanks for calling Uline.
Wait, did the phone even ring?
Nope.
Okay, so you answered before the ring. But now you're going to put me on hold, right?
We don't do that here. We're real people answering the phone, ready to help with your order when you are.
Uline has thousands of quality products for your business and warehouse needs, always in stock, ready to ship same day, and backed by Uline's legendary 24/7 customer service. Uline, we warehouse for you.
Summer's a busy time for businesses. WaFd bank accounts are designed to work with business owners like you, stay on top of every dollar, helping manage cash flow, pay vendors, and keep operations running smoothly. Get access to digital tools to simplify banking, like bill pay, signer and non-signer debit cards, and the option to upgrade your account as your business grows. Plus, our business bankers get to know you, so when you need help, we're there. WaFd Bank, built for business. Visit wafdbank.com, member FDIC.
This is Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. Our summertime savings event means zero down, zero payments, and zero interest for up to 24 months, backed by our unbeatable warranties. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today.
This is it. These are the nights. The ones where you laugh until you can't anymore. And smile until your head hits the pillow. Where everything feels just right. Because it is. Muckleshoot Casino Resort. Must be 21 and over. Please gamble responsibly.
Summer calls for road travel across our region. Have you noticed more vehicles on our highways and local roads? Obviously, traffic in the city is going to be crowded, especially with the Ship Canal Bridge construction. But there have been a ton more people heading north on I-5 and east on I-90 for weekends and holidays than again on Sundays coming home. More people on the roads means more accidents. And if you're not careful, you'll find yourself on the shoulder exchanging information. If you're one of the unlucky ones or know a friend or family member, reverse your fortune by having Herald Car Law Offices deal with insurance. While you're resting, receiving physical therapy, and taking time off work, Harold Carr Law Offices will negotiate with insurance on your behalf while compiling necessary paperwork and getting you the best recovery possible. 7 locations across Western Washington and a track record of success for their clients. Carr is spelled with 2 R's. C-A-R-R. CarLaw.com. C-A-R-R. Car accident? Call Carr.
The Mariners are lighting up the sky all summer long with Fireworks Night, thanks to T-Mobile. The next show is coming up August 21st after the team takes on the Chicago Cubs. Get your tickets and check out the complete lineup at mariners.com/fireworks.
Carter Subaru is Seattle's only Subaru dealer with the largest selection of Subarus in Washington. With over 800 vehicles in stock, they have exactly what you're looking for with savings you'll love. Visit Carter Subaru in Shoreline and Ballard or anytime at cartersubaru.com.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio, KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle, Northwest News.
ABC News, I'm Mike Dubusky. An unexpected drop in the labor market, with the economy losing 23,000 jobs in July, according to the latest federal report. ABC's Elizabeth Scholze.
This is job losses last month, and the expectation had been that we would see over 80,000 new jobs added. There are certain sectors where the jobs were lost by the biggest amounts: local government, education, retail, hotels, and food services. We did also see a drop in the participation rate, meaning fewer people were trying to find work.
That landmark social media case in New Mexico against Meta, which found the company liable for endangering children, has now resulted in another major fine for the company, a judge ordering Meta to pay an additional $567 million. And at least 6 people were killed in Bangkok, Thailand earlier today when a gunman opened fire at a school. Authorities say that suspect, who's believed to be a student at that school, was also killed. This is ABC News. We're now learning the names of those 2 towns in New Jersey affected by cyber attacks at water systems. Facilities in Woodbine and Cape May were hit with the attacks, although they say water quality was not affected there.
Similar hacks have hit water utilities in more than a dozen other states. Iran remains the prime suspect, though it's unclear whether the goal is harm or fear.
ABC News Chief Investigative Correspondent Aaron Katersky. Bad news for those under wildfire evacuation orders in Washington State.
It is going to be weeks before we can safely let you in. That is disappointing news, probably angering news, but the preservation of life is in our foremost thoughts and at the front of every decision we make when we talk about these evacuation zones.
Spokane County Sheriff John Knowles there, who points to toxic fumes and hazardous materials as the main reasons why the area remains dangerous. I'm Mike Dubusky, ABC News.
At 8:02, here's what's happening.
The man accused of setting one of the devastating Spokane fires told detectives he planned it for 2 weeks, researching wind and humidity to maximize the damage. Aaron Farnacci is now held on $2 million bail.
Luke Ducey will have details on that in a moment. The FAA is ordering inspections of about 470 Boeing 737 MAX jets after reports of cracks near a galley door. The planes are not being grounded.
The Snohomish Little League All-Stars play for a semifinal spot at the Softball World Series today at noon, a rematch with a Florida team that beat them 14-0 earlier in the tournament.
And it's never a good sign when your right fielder ends up pitching. The Mariners get blanked by the Tigers 11-0 yesterday, their league worst 11th shutout of the season.
It's 8:03 and we turn to Ted Biener for traffic.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. The rear-end crash on the ramp from northbound 167 to 405 continues to block the left ramp lane there. Drivers are moving to the right lane to get by the scene. They're doing pretty well at this point. Elsewhere, it is overall Friday light. There are some of the usual slowdowns, though, and that includes northbound 167 from State Route 18 to near Willis, and again approaching 405. Northbound 405 has got brake lights from the Renton curves into Newcastle. Northbound I-5 has some braking from Albro into downtown. Coming in from the north end, southbound I-5 is sluggish from 130th into downtown, and southbound 405 slows from Canyon Park to past the 160th interchange. Drive times, Everett to Seattle, Bellevue, both of those are between 40 to 45 minutes. Olympia to Tacoma is a half hour. Tacoma to Seattle is 47 minutes. Auburn to Renton is 15 minutes. And Renton to Bellevue, that is currently at 23 minutes. I'm Ted Biener with KIRO Newsradio, real-time traffic.
8:04 on the Friday, August 6, 2026 edition of Seattle's Morning News. I'm Charlie Harger. Manda Factor has the day off. We're joined by Jillian Raftery.
Good morning. And new court documents reveal an arson suspect confessed to detectives that he started the Old Trails fire in Spokane.
Fire has destroyed around 900 structures, forcing thousands of people to evacuate your homes. And as you heard on ABC News at the top of the hour, they may not be able to return for weeks. KIRO Newsradio's Luke Ducey is here with the latest.
Yeah, we've got some more details on that as well, the return home for evacuees. But first, those court documents say that 37-year-old Aaron Farinacci admitted that he had been planning that fire for 2 weeks. He even researched wind and humidity conditions to maximize the damage, he said. Here's about the only thing he did say during his arraignment yesterday.
Aaron Forrest Farinacci, 1989.
Earlier this week, a witness told KIRO 7 TV he saw the suspect acting suspicious and called 911.
Said, holy and where the smoke was rising was where that individual was standing, and I told myself, I said, that SOB started a fire.
Prosecutors say Farinacci also set at least 25 other fires over the last year. He will now undergo a mental competency evaluation, and his bail was raised to $2 million. He did not enter a plea, by the way. As for the latest on the fires in Spokane, we've been telling you for the last couple of days, the fires have slowed overnight, only progressing yesterday by about 2 acres or so, so that's good news. However, there's growing frustration from folks who were evacuated just last week, still not being allowed back home. Sheriff John Knowles responded late yesterday.
Those burn areas are absolutely not safe for people to be in, and the decision for us to let the public into those areas will be when we are confident that there is no risk to their life immediately or into the future.
By in the future, he means toxic smoke that firefighters are dealing with. You know, that can come back to haunt you years down the road. He says firefighters are battling smaller fires that keep popping up in those neighborhoods, and they're doing all that wearing heavy equipment and full breathing apparatuses to protect from that toxic smoke from burning homes and cars. You know, there are about 1,500 firefighters from 23 different states, boots on the ground there in Spokane. All of them, the real heroes in all of this. There has been no loss of life so far. However, Charlie and Jillian, today, a weather alert day across eastern Washington, gusty winds, high temperatures, and extremely dry conditions.
We'll be on top of that. Thank you. Luke Ducey reporting live. A Stage 2 burn ban now in effect for King County. No burning yard debris or clearing land. Also banned are burning recreational fires like wood fire pits or campfires. This covers unincorporated King County, too dry and hot. And we also have learned there are burn bans in the Olympic National Forest and Olympic National Park.
A close call in the Kitsap Peninsula. We're hearing from a neighbor who helped stop a suspected arsonist after a Port Orchard garage was set on fire. Here's KIRO 7 TV's Jason Sloss.
Dan Carlson lives across the street, says he and his wife were in the hot tub when they spotted the golf cart and then flames.
And I went up to the door, rang the doorbell a couple of times, beat on the door.
Carlson says his wife called 911 and he confronted the guy with the blowtorch.
I asked him, what are you doing? He goes, well, everything's okay. I'm with the fire department. I looked at him and said, no, what the hell, what's going on? And that's when he took after me with a golf cart and tried to run me down.
That suspect is now facing multiple felony charges.
Reliable, refreshing, and ready every morning. Seattle's Morning News.
Well, here we are. It's Friday, August 7th. Charlie Harger here with you. Manda Factor has the day off. Jillian Raftery is filling in. It's so great to have you in this morning.
Appreciate it.
We also have Sully off this morning. He is celebrating a birthday tomorrow. Ted Beener is filling in for the big guy. It was kind of a messy start to the morning.
Oh, it certainly was. And we're still cleaning up a little bit, but it's getting better. That's the key.
Sorry to recover. Nick Krasha also out. Nick Neihart is running the board and picking the tunes. Still have Katrina Gashard out at the news desk, and producer David Burbank is here with us. Well, coming up this hour of the show, the Rick Riz Show. We're going to check in with the longtime Mariners broadcaster ahead of the team's 50th anniversary celebration this weekend.
Plus, KIRO News Radio's Paul Holden will send us into the weekend with his weekend planner.
That's all on the way here on Seattle's Morning News. Amanda Knox facing backlash over a new stand-up comedy routine. The show is called Cartwheel, and it debuts at an arts festival in Scotland today. The title references rumors Knox did cartwheels after her roommate was murdered. The victim's family is slamming the performance, but Knox told Sky News she's being judged unfairly compared to other wrongfully convicted people.
I can't speak to what is or is not triggering to Meredith's family. What I can say is that I've never seen the kind of scrutiny and criticism pointed towards a wrongly accused man that I've seen pointed towards me.
Knox spent 4 years in an Italian prison before her acquittal.
The Kitsap County Sheriff's Office is stepping up efforts to catch online child sex predators after arresting a Seattle man last week who thought he was chatting with a 13-year-old girl.
Investigators say the 29-year-old man was actually chatting with a trained detective and sent explicit messages trying to arrange a meeting. Kevin McCarty with the Kitsap County Sheriff's Office says soon his office will have 3 detectives trained to catch those who would prey on kids.
Whenever possible, those people are going to be taken into custody. They're going to face criminal charges, and they're going to face the punishment of the law for doing these things to kids.
The suspect was arrested on suspicion of 2 counts of attempted child rape. James Lynch, KIRO Newsradio.
The Washington State Supreme Court is waiving the bar exam requirement for hundreds of first-time applicants after a technology failure disrupted July's next-gen bar exam. Eligible candidates can either accept admission to the state bar by court order or take a makeup exam in September. Applicants who previously failed a bar exam are not eligible for the waiver.
At Seahawks training camp, a special face here. Some of those cheers are for a substitute teacher trying to make it on the squad. That sound courtesy of the Tacoma News Tribune. Montori Foster Jr. is from Ohio and played at Michigan State University before returning to his alma mater to teach. Last year, 4 pro teams called him into practice, and he ended up signing with the Seahawks on the practice squad. No regular games, but he did get a Super Bowl ring this year along with the team, and he is hoping to join the squad.
Big day for some girls from Snohomish. A big quarterfinal rematch for Washington's softball Little League World Series team. They take on Florida at noon. They lost 14-0 to that team in the first game of the series. But later in the series, they mounted a major comeback against other teams, including a 9-1 win against Canada on Wednesday.
And Washington will play another day here at the World Series. Maddie Locke strikes out 12, and her defense backs her up. Washington wins 9-1.
The team is from Snohomish and went undefeated in the regionals.
A section of State Route 202 outside Fall City is closed this weekend. KIRO 7 TV's Tyra Major has those details.
That's happening until Monday night. Detours onto I-90 could add 45 minutes or more to trips. Crews there plan to rebuild a road embankment along the Snoqualmie River. There's also a partial closure of eastbound 520 from I-5 to Montlake, so that'll leave more cars and congestion to I-90 eastbound across the lake there. And much of this work, of course, depends on good weather. That's why WashDOT says their crews have to get this work done during the summer months.
Taking a look at the forecast now at 8:12, it's going to be another smoky one and hot. Relatively, at least for the Seattle area. 86 our forecast high today. Smoke won't be as bad as yesterday, and tomorrow even less smoke. We'll have morning clouds, afternoon sun. 83 the high, 79 on Sunday, and low 80s to upper 70s the next couple of days after that. Right now in Seattle, it's still kind of smoky. It's 63.
At 8:13, let's turn to Ted, who's got your traffic.
Well, I'm going to ask both of you, do you like Friday Light or Fast Friday?
I like Friday Light because that's what Sully says.
Uh-huh.
I kind of like Fast Friday. I like Friday Light, but Fast Friday sound really has a ring to it.
Okay, I wish it was that case today,
Dang
unfortunately, but...
you tricked us!
Yes, I did. All right, this traffic report is brought to you by the Seattle Mariners. Yeah, it's been a struggle so far today. And we still have the rear-end crash on the ramp from northbound 167 to 405. Continues to block the left ramp lane. Fortunately, drivers, they're getting smart. They're moving over to that right lane to get by the scene there. Otherwise, we have some of our usual Friday slowdowns. That includes eastbound 512 down the hill through Puyallup. Northbound 167 from Algona to near Willis, and again approaching 405. Northbound 405 has got brake lights from the Renton curves into Newcastle, and on northbound I-5, there is slowing from Marlboro into downtown. Coming in from the north end, southbound I-5 slows from Northgate into downtown, and southbound 405 has got braking from Canyon Park to past the 160th interchange. The Narrows and Lake Bridges, they're moving well. Some drive times, Everett to Seattle, Bellevue, both of those are close to 40 minutes. Very good compared to earlier this week. Coming in from the south end, Olympia Tacoma is just over 30 minutes. Federal to Seattle is 31 minutes. 21 of those are from South Center. And Puyallup to Renton, that is 37 minutes. And Renton to Bellevue, 25 minutes. A reminder, northbound 405 will close for road work from Sunset to Coal Creek Parkway from 11:30 tonight to early Monday morning. A signed detour will be in place. Southbound 405, though, that will remain open. Don't miss the biggest event of the year at T-Mobile Park, 50 Season Celebration Night on August 8th, tomorrow night, presented by Daktronics. Get your tickets at mariners.com. KIRO Newsradio, real-time traffic. I'm Ted Biener.
We are underway.
There's only one Rick Riz.
The Grippies with back-to-back home runs. Number 258, a Major League record for Ichiro.
The On Cruise Adventures Rick Riz Show on Seattle's Morning News.
Well, a big weekend ahead for the Mariners as the team puts on its 50th anniversary celebration. We're now joined by the man, the myth, the legend, Rick Riz. You've been with the team for the majority of its 50 years, Rick. What does it mean for you to be here for this big celebration?
It means that I've had amazing time here with this organization. I've been privileged to be here for 41 years, thanks to Dave Niehaus, who got me here back in 1983 after 6 years of the first year of their existence, and to be able to witness, the greatest players in this organization for this long. We had a big dinner last night across the way at Victory Hall, and we had all the greatest 50 players there, including some of the younger guys, currently on the team. And I'm looking at all the different tables from Bruce Bhakti and Rupert Jones and Floyd Bannister was at one table. I said, I've broadcast all your games except that table in the back with Floyd and Bruce, and Rupert. So it's been really an honor and a privilege to be here this long to witness so much great Mariners baseball. And there's more to come later on this year. I guarantee you that.
What are we expecting to see tomorrow night? It just sounds like this is going to be a gallery of pictures you're going to want to take if you're there.
Oh, no doubt about it. Tomorrow night is going to be amazing. It starts really tonight with a home run derby with Ichiro, in the home run derby along with Ryan Rowland Smith, and Austin Nola is going to be in it as well, and Bucky Jacobson and Stephen Romero. So that it really starts tonight, but tomorrow night Charlie is going to be absolutely amazing. It's going to be a special 1 hour pregame show. You want to get there early. So we're going to see all the 50 greatest players in the history of the Mariners, on the field, special pregame show. There's some things that, we can't say right now that are surprises. So it's going to be a lot of fun. You just don't want to miss it because we're going to relive those great moments, great videos that'll take us back in time. Remember when you were there when Edgar hit the double, when Felix threw the perfect game. You're going to go back in time with 50 of the greatest players in the organization. And I can't wait. It's going to be so much fun tomorrow night.
Rick, tonight, who do you think wins the alumni home run derby? Is it Ichiro's to lose at this point? He feels the most game ready still.
Yeah, David, I think it's Ichiro by far. He's going to be Secretariat. He's got 31 laps in front of everybody else, after Secretariat won the Triple Crown. But I'm anxious to see Ryan Rowland Smith, a pitcher, get a chance to swing the bat. And we'll see how Ryan does. He's been working out and taking swings. So is Austin Nola, Stephen Romero, and the other guys, and Bucky Jacobson, I'm sure. But here's a guy. Ichiro could have hit 40 home runs every year if he wanted to, but his job was to get on base. He did it better than anybody, I think, in baseball history, with so many base hits. He had more hits than anybody in the history of the game, in 2004, 262. He broke a record that stood for 80 years. George Sisler set it in 1920. So, to answer your question, I think this is Ichiro's to lose. He's going to win this thing, I think, by a big margin.
Rick, Kyle Seager won't be there, but there's a very cool reason. I was just reading about this morning. He's doing the Cooperstown Dream Park where the 12U players play. My son did that last year. So will you give it? Yeah. I guess that Kyle Seager is coaching a team. you give him a pass for that, right? Being with his son for something just so incredible.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, this is an incredible moment to celebrate our history, and he's so much a part of it. He's one of the 50 greatest players in our history, but you got to be there for your son. He's going to be in Cooperstown, New York. And I'm telling you, I saw Crew as about a 3-year-old kid swinging a bat, hitting a wiffle ball, over this fence out by Field 2. Is amazing. He had a great swing when he was 3 years old. And this kid is going to carry on the legend of the Seegers, like his dad and his uncle, Corey, now with the Texas Rangers. So, yeah, he's got to be there with his son. You can't possibly miss that. So Kyle has a really good reason to miss, this wonderful celebration coming up this weekend for the 50 greatest players in our history.
Rick, we talk a lot about the history of the team. Let's talk about the current team. Not exactly the showing we wanted against Detroit. The schedule, unfortunately, does not get easier throughout August here.
No.
How do they pull themselves back together? What are your expectations going into a series against a really difficult Tampa Bay team?
Yeah, Tampa Bay with 68 wins, they've got the best record in the American League. They always find a chance to win. They have to do what they did 2 nights ago, and that's play a complete game and a clean game. I mean, they had the great pitching a couple of nights ago, and they won by a score of 4-2. Sparky's on my scorebook right now, but that's Sparky right there. But, Brian Wu had a great game. Munoz closed it out. You had the home run by Julio Rodriguez. You had the home run by Colt Emerson to end the game. The great defense. The defense won that ball game. The great catch by Randy Arozarena on the left field, taking a 3-run home run away from Colt Keith. He also made a great throw to throw out Gleyber Torres, trying to go from first to third on a base at the left field. Randy had the best game of his season. So that's what they have to do. You cannot make any mistakes against a team like the Tampa Bay Rays. You've got to score early.
And Rick just cut out. His screen went to black. Well, that was the Rick Riz Show. What a time for the Mariners right now, David, because they really – I went to the game yesterday. This seemed like one of those moments where it's kind of a crossroads for this team, where they're headed. I actually had to leave early. It was a tough one, and I'm normally the guy who's there till the very end.
Yeah, it's hard to see, especially giving up so many runs and then not being able to connect with runners in scoring position. They're a team that has their chances plenty of times. They've got guys who can get on base. So, I mean, I'm sure Rick would say this same thing. They just have to find a way to get those runners in. The pitching is going to be better. I mean, it's hard to see Bryce Miller not have necessarily his best game. I think the team's going to return to the mean. They have too many good players on the roster. So hopefully that begins tonight. Like I said, there's a lot of difficult competition coming up throughout the month. So they're going to be tested and they're going to have to show up, certainly.
Right. Thank you for that. Let's do this. Let's get an early check on traffic with Ted Beener as we watch what hasn't been the easiest Friday commute.
No, not at all. But I do have some good news. The crash on the ramp from northbound 167 to 405, that has cleared. Life is good in that region. And Adam on the Staples driver on the text line, he just passed along that on northbound I-5 at 175th. They've got the right lane closed there for road work, so just be aware of that if you're heading in that direction. Might sneak up on you. Elsewhere, it overall is Friday light. There are some of the usual slowdowns. They include northbound 167 approaching 405, northbound 405. That's got a lot of slowing now from the Renton curves into Newcastle. Northbound I-5 has some braking as you go down the South Center Hill and again from Albro into downtown. Southbound I-5, that is sluggish from Northgate into downtown, and southbound 405 slows from Canyon Park to 522 and again from Totem Lake to near Northeast 70th in Kirkland. Some drive times: Tacoma to Seattle is 45 minutes, Auburn to Renton is 17 minutes, Renton to Bellevue, that is close to 25 minutes, and from the north end, Everett to Seattle, Bellevue, both of those are close to 40 minutes. In Kirkland this weekend, the 405 on and off ramps at 85th, they're going to be closed for road work starting at 10 p.m. tonight to early Monday morning. And on State Route 161 through Milton, that highway will close at 10 tonight and reopen early Monday. They're doing some fish culvert work there. I'm Ted Beener with KIRO Newsradio Real-Time Traffic.
enjoy this 64-degree cool morning while you can. It's going to heat up to 86 degrees, and some of that haze is going to stick around even though it's better than yesterday. Tomorrow, starting cloudy and a high of 83 degrees. Coming up,
we're going to talk with KIRO Newsradio's Luke Ducey about his health. He wants to help others with a commonly overlooked diagnosis and why he's going to be away from KIRO for the next couple of weeks. We'll speak with Luke next on Seattle's Morning News.
Dear Ursula, I have a group of friends who have bonded over...
Hi, I'm Ursula Voitin from the G and Ursula Show, and I'm launching a new podcast called Ask Ursula. This is your space. Real life, real questions, whether it's about family, friendships, love, and yes, even the fun stuff like travel and finding your signature scent. Hit me up and ask your questions at mynorthwest.com/Ursula. I look forward to connecting with you.
At mynorthwest.com and the G and Ursula YouTube channel.
Be more than a tourist. Be an adventurer. Leave the mega ships and crowds behind and step aboard an uncruised vessel with fewer than 100 guests. It's your vessel for real exploration in Alaska, Mexico, Hawaii, Costa Rica, and the Galapagos. Kayak among glaciers, see whales hunting and feeding, snorkel with playful sea lion pups. Untamed, unrushed, unbelievable, uncruise. Visit uncruise.com and talk to an adventure specialist today. Tell them Rick Riz sent you for exclusive savings.
The Boeing Classic welcomes the world's greatest golf legends to the Pacific Northwest, August 14th through the 16th at the club at Snoqualmie Ridge. Watch Masters champions and Golf Hall of Famers compete for a $2.3 million purse at the only PGA Tour champion stop in the region. Bring the whole family and make sure to check out the Seahawks Village, packed with fun for all ages. Tickets start at just $20 and kids get in free. Visit BoeingClassic.com to get yours today.
Not all roofs are created equal, and not all warranties are either. This is Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. Right now, take advantage of free lifetime Golden Pledge warranties on all GAF shingle installations and save up to $3,000 or choose 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest up to 24 months. Summertime savings won't last forever. Protect your home with a roof you can count on for decades. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today. Held to a higher standard since 1968.
Be advised, this is your opportunity to save up to 40 to 80% on a hot tub or swim spa this weekend only, today through Sunday. Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. Be advised, this is your opportunity to save up to 40 to 80% on a hot tub or swim spa this weekend only, today through Sunday. Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. 18-month interest-free financing. Our factories have demanded we sell 1,000 hot tubs and swim spas this weekend. Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. Huge factory incentives, factory rebates this weekend only. Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. We can remove your old hot tub. Free delivery of your new hot tub. Deep discounts. Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. Free delivery of your new hot tub. Just relax and enjoy. Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. Today, 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. Saturday, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Sunday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Free admission. Free delivery. Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. Call 833-SPA-SALE or visit hottubandSwimSpaSale.com.
Join the conversation and text your favorite show on the KIRO Newsradio text line at 888-973-KIRO. That's 888-973-5476. Powered by Muckleshoot Casino Resort.
Jane is a small business owner. Tell them what that's like, Jane.
Yeah, well, it's like a roller coaster with a lot of ups and downs, and some days things can feel like they're flying off the rails.
Yep, it's a lot. But the Total Solutions Advantage only from Comcast Business can help you manage it all. With the largest, fastest fiber-powered network designed for 100% reliability with business internet and wireless connect.
Nice. So everything stays on track.
The Total Solutions Advantage. No one does business like Comcast Business.
The more solutions you add, the more you save. Get started today with a qualifying internet package for as low as $60 a month when you add an advanced solution. Plus, new customers, ask how to get up to $1,500 in prepaid cards when you add 2 lines of mobile to a qualifying gig bundle. Don't wait. Call today. Limited time offer. Restrictions apply. New customers only. 1-year agreement, paperless billing, and automatic payments with bank account required. $60 offer requires 300 meg internet, security edge, and additional qualifying service. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. Prepaid card offers end 9/13/2026.
Guys, your testosterone level impacts your energy, drive, weight, hair loss, and even ED. Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your T level for free. For your free T level check, exam, and consultation, call 206-529-1111 or visit revivemenshealth.com.
August is Karastan month at Carpet Liquidators. Purchase beautiful Karastan carpet and get free installation. From carpet to flooring, we've got you covered at Carpet Liquidators.
From whiplash to herniated discs, there are a few car accident injuries we've all heard of. JP Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains that even the most common injuries differ from one another.
Pre-existing conditions, health history, beginning of treatment. There are hundreds of factors that make every person and every injury unique. While these variables aid medical treatment, the strongest case recoveries must also take them into account.
Could you explain a little bit more?
Our team at Pendergast Law is obsessed with turning over every stone to differentiate each case. This requires thorough investigation, diligent listening, and relentless research. We never pursue cases with a one-size-fits-all approach. We built our success by treating every injury and every case with the individualized attention our clients need and deserve.
Pendergast Law's individualized approach to even the most common injuries makes the difference in case outcomes. It's another reason why I can't recommend them enough.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
It's the little things at Subaru of Puyallup, a team that listens, straightforward pricing. Through August 31st, incredible financing on select models during the Subaru A Lot to Love event. Subaru of Puyallup, your stress-free dealership. Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue,
Seattle's Morning News.
Good morning. I'm Jillian Raftery with Charlie Harger.
Thanks for joining us on this Friday. Attorneys for a man accused of intentionally setting a devastating wildfire near Spokane have asked for a competency evaluation. And because of that, Aaron Ferranici hasn't entered a plea yet, but a judge did find probable cause for 4 more counts of arson and increased his bond.
For Ferranici, you will remain held on $2 million bond in addition to the other conditions of this court as indicated herein.
And here's what court documents say. Detectives believe Ferranici started at least 4 other fires over the past year. In court documents, they say he planned the Old Trails fire for at least 2 weeks. He set 25 others, often multiple at once, to spread out firefighting resources.
The Spokane County Sheriff is telling people to stay away from their properties, even if there is not an active fire in the area. KIRO 7 TV's Dee Sun has been following this.
The specialists still need to assess all of the areas that are under those level 3 evacuations. Another hidden danger is ash pits. Those are easy to step in accidentally, and they can cause serious burns.
I will tell you, we have people going into those not protected in any way, shape, or form. And the decision for us to let the public into those areas will be when we are confident that there is no risk to their life immediately or into the future.
The sheriff says he plans to arrest people for obstruction of a police officer if they're caught in those burn zones.
With high winds and temperatures moving into Spokane today, crews are looking ahead. With that part of the story, here's KIRO 7 TV's Brooke Griffin.
Joe Tiso with CAL FIRE says
the crews are not letting our guard down. We're not getting lulled into a sense of complacency, and we're actively engaging in mop-up and patrolling.
There are more than 1,400 firefighters in Spokane County, with hundreds more on the way, each of them telling us the same thing.
No matter where you're from, we're going to work together, we're going to work hard, and we're going to get the job done.
A murder investigation is underway in Tacoma after a deadly shooting early this morning. Police say officers were called just after 2 a.m. to the 2100 block of North 30th Street, where they found an adult man suffering from gunshot wounds. He was pronounced dead at the scene. Tacoma police and crime scene investigators are urging anyone with information to contact 911.
Seattle leaders proposing a first-in-the-nation grocery pricing policy aimed at preventing what they call AI-assisted price gouging. Mayor Katie Wilson and City Council members Alexis Mercedes Rink and Deon Foster say the measure would prohibit large grocery retailers from using personal data to charge different prices to different customers. The proposal is being considered this morning by a city council committee.
At 8:33, we turn to Ted Beener, who's been following your traffic all morning.
I certainly have, and it may be Friday light for traffic, but we do have some of our usual slowdowns, and that includes northbound 167 From after 212 up to 405, northbound 405 has got brake lights from the Renton curves up into Newcastle. And on northbound I-5, we got some slowing down the South Center Hill and from Albro into downtown. Coming in from the north end, southbound I-5 slows from Northgate into downtown, and southbound 405 is braking from Canyon Park to past the 160th interchange, and again from Totem Lake to near Northeast 70th. The Narrows and Lake Bridges are moving well. Some drive times, Everett to Seattle or Bellevue, both of those are close to 45 minutes. Coming in from the south end, Federal Way to Seattle, that is east to 28 minutes. 20 of those are from South Center. Fiel up to Renton, 35 minutes, and Renton to Bellevue, that is right around 25 minutes. A reminder, northbound 405 will close for road work from Sunset to Coal Creek Parkway from 11:30 tonight to early Monday morning. A signed detour will be in place. Keep in mind, southbound 405 will remain open. I'm Ted Biener with KIRO Newsradio Real-Time Traffic.
I'm sorry, Charlie.
No worries. The forecast high is 86 today, smoky and 59 right now in Seattle.
It is 8:30.
Seattle's morning news. Always live, always connected. Stream, watch, subscribe, and share at mynorthwest.com.
Time now to check in with our colleague Luke Ducey. We've learned this morning he is about to go on an extended leave of absence.
He's having surgery early next week, and he's here right now to share more about this new journey with all of us.
Yeah, surgery next week because, let me just start with saying, this is very odd for me to do this because I do make a living telling other people's stories, but so this is a little different. Surgery because I have a tumor in the middle of my head, just under the brain, and next week I'm going to have that surgery to remove it. Difficult to say that. The tumor is benign, but it's not cancer, so it's not cancer. And I know there's so many people out there facing diagnoses and challenges far more difficult than me, and my heart goes out to them and their families. That said, last year I thought I was losing myself, and I learned there was a reason, and now I'm fighting to get myself back. I'm hoping by telling my story, it might help someone pay attention to symptoms they may have and to advocate for themselves to get checked out. We've already heard this morning from one listener whose husband had the same thing, and he's doing great. He had surgery. Another listener has reached out this morning as well because of symptoms they've been feeling. I'm going to reach out to you so we can have that discussion as well, point you in the right direction. In May, after a series of doctor visits, blood tests, and an MRI, I was told I have a pituitary macroadenoma. So that's another way of saying a tumor on my pituitary gland, which sits smack dab in the middle of your head, if you didn't know that. According to the National Institutes of Health, about 1 in 1,000 people have a diagnosed symptomatic pituitary adenoma. However, studies suggest that 1 in every 6 people have these tumors and might go through life without any symptoms or may not know it at all because these tumors grow over years and years. They may not realize that they've been changing different aspects of their life, but you are. For me, lower testosterone led to another blood test, which led to the MRI, which led to a diagnosis. I thought I was just getting older, and the only symptoms that I had really were low energy, and when I would work out, I couldn't keep any muscle on. For an example, during a 7-day trek in the Dolomites in the mountains in Italy over the summer, I kept feeling my right leg and my right butt muscle tightening and cramping in ways that reminded me of physical therapy after I had knee surgery on that leg years ago. Like muscle growth kept weakening and just wasting away. And I knew something was not right. So I pushed my doctors to order those blood tests, and I caught this relatively early. My tumor is pressing on some pretty important stuff. The optic nerves and the carotid artery, at least one of them, that's not great. The pituitary gland is also very important. Of course, it controls a lot of stuff. Energy levels, body temperature, heart rate, blood pressure, blood sugar, growth hormone, water balance in your body, milk production for pregnant women, and a whole lot of other stuff. If your body was a television, for instance, the pituitary gland is like the TV remote control, and my remote control is on the fritz right now. I got to get it fixed. So let's talk about that surgery. It's called endoscopic endonasal transphenoidal resection. It's another fancy way of saying 2 surgeons are going to go up my nose with specialized tools and a camera, break through 2 bones, and grab the tumor. It freaks me out because it's not like you're operating on something on the outside of your body where they can actually see it. They'll be looking at screens, TV screens, and maybe a 3D image, an MRI, photo while they're in there doing that. Recovery, though, is what can take a while. So that's where I'm going to be most of this time, recovering at home for several weeks. But I'll be back. And if you're interested, I'm going to be sharing photos and a diary of my whole journey on mynorthwest.com. I've been saying all morning, I do feel pretty vulnerable sharing this with all of you listening, but I'm hoping, again, that my story will help someone out there. Pay attention to your body. Don't ask your doctors. Tell them if something's not right. Make them take the next steps. I've already heard from a lot of you listening right now, so thank you so much for the positivity. I know I'm going to be fine. My neurosurgeon has performed this surgery more than 600 times. He's one of the best. One person shared, again, that her husband went through this. I love stories like that because they're doing not just well, but much better. Here's the last crazy thing that I would share with you about this. Pituitary macroadenomas, they don't develop overnight. They develop over years and years and years. And I've studied enough about this. Me as a journalist, I could tell you, I could almost perform the surgery. I thought about doing it myself, on myself.
Sure, Luke.
With your supervision, Charlie. But here's the deal. Because they grow over the years, that means there's a chance I had been gradually losing pieces of myself without even realizing it. I mean, it's still been me, but it wasn't the same version of me. A lot of patients say they feel different after surgery almost immediately, like a fog has been lifted. Now for the first time in a long time, I might get the chance to meet the old me again, which is really kind of freaking me out, but also exciting at the same time.
I knew the old you.
You did.
I did.
You did years ago at another station. That's right. How was I back then?
You were
still crazy.
A handful. That's for sure. My question is, can you talk about the number of people who have these? I thought this was something just very remote, but it's not.
It's not. So again, symptomatic, 1 in 1,000. So that's not a lot. But the studies that they've done involve autopsies, looking at the brain. 1 in 6 people. So look around. If you're driving right now, you see 6 different vehicles. 1 out of those people have a tumor growing on their pituitary gland in this small little area. There are different types of tumors, of course. Yeah. Non-cancerous, but this is a thing that a lot of people have and may not even realize they have symptoms, or it just didn't get to a point where some people suffer vision loss or blurred vision or severe headaches, or there's something more acute that they suffer from, and they say, oh, something's wrong. For other people like me, it's a little bit early on. For women, one of the really common symptoms is their menstruation cycle stops. And so, be aware of those things. Study up and, email me. I'll help you out.
Okay. Luke Ducey, we'll be praying for you, and we look forward to your triumphant return.
I'll be back.
It is 8:40. Ted, what's your traffic hotspot?
Well, we got a crash on southbound I-5 in Tacoma there at the State Route 16 interchange. I'll tell you more about it after this short break.
Word here now for Closets by Design. You have one of those mornings where you're already behind. You're not doing anything wrong when your closet's a mess, your pantry's overflowing, or your garage is basically unusable. It's just that most homes weren't set up to work the way we actually live. What I learned about Closets by Design is they do so much more than just closets, garages, pantries. What we had them do in our house was our spare bedroom. We now have a home office and wall bed. Plenty of room there now when company isn't over. They also do mud rooms. You think of it, they can do it. All custom built for your home at their facility in Kent. When things are designed right, your day just goes smoother with less clutter and frustration. Right now, for a limited time, you can get 40% off plus an additional 15% off and 18 months 0% financing, improved credit if paid in full. Go to closetsbydesign.com or call 1-800-BY-DESIGN to get your project started today.
A wildfire disaster unfolding just east of us.
The Spokane fires
destroyed hundreds of homes and forced tens of thousands to evacuate.
Unprecedented stories of loss, devastation, and heartbreak.
It was a beautiful home. It really was.
And there was a lot of terror because it's loud, it's hot.
Join KIRO Newsradio in doing whatever you can for our neighbors in Spokane. See how you can help at mynorthwest.com.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-583-6681. That's 800-583-6681.
It's 8:43. Traffic on the threes. Here's Ted Beener.
Thank you, Charlie. This traffic report is brought to you by Seattle Sports. On northbound I-5 at 175th, the right lane there is closed for road work. It could be a surprise if you're not ready. And on southbound I-5 in Tacoma, we've got a crash. It's over in the shoulder area, right there at the State Route 16 ramp. We've got slow traffic approaching the scene there. Elsewhere, it is overall Friday light. We got traffic volume slowly but surely easing. There are some of the usual slowdowns, though, and that includes southbound I-5 from Northgate into downtown, and southbound 405 slows from Canyon Park to 522, and again from Totem Lake to past 85th. Coming in from the south end, northbound 167 slows approaching 405, northbound 405, that's got brake lights from the Renton curves to the VMAC, and northbound I-5 has some braking from Albro into downtown. Drive times, Tacoma to Seattle, that is east of 43 minutes. Auburn to Renton is 15 minutes. Renton to Bellevue, right around 25 minutes. From the north end, Everett to Seattle, Bellevue, both of those are between 40 and 45 minutes. In Kirkland this weekend, the 405 on and off ramps at 85th will be closed for road work starting at 10 p.m. tonight to early Monday morning. And on State Route 161 through Milton, that highway will close at 10 tonight and reopen early Monday for fish culvert work. You can always listen to your favorite local sports content on the FM dial at 97.3 HD2. KIRO Newsradio Real-Time Traffic, I'm Ted Beener.
Hot and hazy today with a high of 86. We are a little bit smoky, but not nearly as much as yesterday. And the humidity, you want to guess the humidity level, Charlie?
67%.
0%.
Okay, that was my second guess.
We're under a heat advisory until 10 p.m. today, and most of the land east of the mountains is under a red flag advisory, so everyone be careful. It is 64 degrees right now in downtown Seattle.
Coming up, Paul Holden stops by with the weekend planner here on Seattle's Morning News.
Welcome to this week's Puget Sound Express Whale Report. Naturalists from Puget Sound Express tell us that last week whales and wildlife were simply everywhere in the Salish Sea. Humpbacks breached and fluked from Hind Bank to Possession Bar. Biggs orcas hunted through Rosario Strait and Deception Pass, and gray whales fed in the shallows of Saratoga Passage. Minke whales cut across the Strait of Juan de Fuca. A sea otter munched breakfast at Turn Island. Tufted puffins motored around Smith Island, and more than 40 white pelicans gathered on Minor Island. Wow! Family-run Puget Sound Express offers daily guaranteed whale watching tours departing from Edmonds. These are Seattle's most popular and well-reviewed whale tours. Tours also depart from Port Townsend and Port Angeles. Orcas, humpbacks, minke whales, and so much more. Don't miss out on your chance to see whales in the wild. Puget Sound Express guarantees you'll see whales or your next trip is absolutely free. Book online at PugetSoundExpress.com.
A lot of businesses are gearing up for a busy summer, and that means choosing a bank with the accounts, tools, and services you need to be successful. The right bank can make a big difference, right, Brad?
It sure can, Dave. And WaFd Bank can help with business checking, loans, credit cards, and so much more. WaFd Bank is also an SBA preferred lender of choice, so you can grow with confidence.
Yeah, but what about when you need help with something? Is there a real person who's available and who knows how to help?
Absolutely. Our friendly and knowledgeable local bankers are ready and waiting to help you with whatever your business might need. From day one, our bankers get to know you and your business to build a strong foundation for future success. This especially helps when it's time to apply for loans and to spot gaps in your business operations, so we can recommend the services that would be most helpful.
Which is exactly why we say WaFd has you covered. To learn more, visit wafedbank.com or stop by your local branch. Discover why they were awarded Best Bank 3 years in a row. WaFd Bank, built for business. Member FDIC, loans subject to credit approval.
The Black Crowes, live in the Tulalip Amphitheater, Sunday, August 30th. Tickets are on sale now. Details at TulalipCasino.com.
Looking for a simple solution to hair loss this summer? Get the same breakthrough one-day treatment I received at Advanced Hair during their once-yearly summer savings event. Your own natural hair begins to regrow the very next day, and Advanced Hair guarantees it will grow. Take advantage of your flexible summer calendar and get the most hair for your dollar during their best offer of the year. For details and a free consultation, call 425-449-8185, advancedhair.com.
There are 5 things money can do for you: growth, liquidity, cash flow, protection, and tax advantages. Don't miss an opportunity because your current retirement plan only focuses on 2 or 3 of them. Hi, Jeff here with Madrona Financial and CPAs. Don't settle for a partial plan. Get the real deal by requesting your no-cost Madrona analysis today and discover what you may be missing. Call 833-673-7373 right now to request your analysis. That's 833-673-7373.
Seattle's Morning News on KIRO News Radio.
8:49, final moments here on a Friday edition of Seattle's Morning News. And that means it's time to bring in KIRO News Radio's Paul Holden to gear us up for the weekend.
Always good to be here, Charlie. I like to have the fun job of Seattle's Morning News, where I get to, it's another long, busy week of a lot of hard-hitting, tough stories, and then I get to just come in and tell you about all the fun stuff.
Yeah.
We need the fun stuff, too.
Hey, that's important. That's right. And there's still plenty of fun, despite, I know, I hate being the guy that has to bring this up. Back to school starting to loom here. But Don't worry, there's still plenty of things to do. Let's dive into all the weekend fun.
It's Friday then, it's Saturday, Sunday, what?
What?
It's Friday then, it's Saturday, Sunday, what?
What? Who's up for a scavenger hunt this weekend?
Pick me.
Well, then you'll want to head to West Seattle, because starting today, it is the beginning of Float Week, which basically is across West Seattle. There's going to be these pieces created by Avalon Glassworks, these little glass floats, and they're yours to keep if you find them. But you got to make sure you register them with the little QR code that you find, because if you don't, they're going to sit on the website, the handy website that they have of listing which ones are claimed and not claimed. So you don't want to send someone out there on their grand adventure thinking they're going to their favorite spot to find a little cool piece of glass and then not it's not there. So yeah, it's just a great way that they encourage you to get out and explore West Seattle. So always looking for cool things. If you're looking to go out and explore a new neighborhood or maybe a place you haven't been to in a while, of course, West Seattle, one of my, if not my favorite neighborhood in all of Seattle, if I have to be honest there, especially during the summer. You got the beach, you got so many great restaurants, so many great businesses to check out. So that is going on. And speaking of glass, Glass Fest Northwest is going to be part of a lot of events here going on at the Tacoma Art Museum, the Museum of Glass, and the Washington State History Museum. These 3 museums are partnering up for 2 huge events. Glass Fest, like I mentioned, all about glass blowing. You can go see the vendors and do some hands-on activities. But at the other 2 museums, it is also going to be the In the Spirits Arts Market in Northwest Native Festival, the 21st edition of this. So this is going to be a showcase of Native arts and culture, live music, vendors, all that cool stuff. And here's the great part, too. Not only are they having these great events which are free to attend, all of those museums, free admission that day as well. Yeah, so if you haven't seen any of those museums, they're offering free admission. That's going to be tomorrow with all the fun starting at 10 o'clock. So you can see all of those, they're all doing it, kind of partnering together there as well. Also in Tacoma, Art on the Ave is back, so that's another big art festival, 200 local artists and vendors. That's going to be one of the biggest art-themed events of the year that you can go and check out. So, David, this one's for you. It's a big weekend. I know we were talking in the newsroom. Are you going to partake in all the cool Mariner stuff that's going on this weekend?
I mean, I'll certainly keep up with it. I am interested. Tonight is the Mariners Alumni Home Run Derby. I don't think it's going to be televised, although maybe it will be on the Mariners TV. I'm not sure, but that will be fun because you'll have Ichiro and Mike Cameron, Ryan Rowland-Smith, all these guys who are, a little past their playing years now, getting out there. I will be surprised to see if any of them get it over the fence. I assume they'll have a manufactured fence a little closer.
Ichiro's
to
gonna
them.
know.
Ichiro
could. Oh, yeah, Ichiro still could.
play.
Absolutely.
I bet we get some surprise players in this home run derby, too.
Yeah.
I mean, Mike Cameron was amazing back in the day.
Hard hammering Mike Cameron.
Uh-huh.
It's going to be a total blast there. Not only do we got a great big weekend for the Mariners, not only for them to turn it around, hopefully, with but all the 50th anniversary fun. You got Seahawks Fan Fest also on Saturday this weekend, and plus you also got a Leagues Cup game for the Sounders and a match for the Seattle Reign on Sunday. So it is going to be bustling in downtown Seattle. But I got more details on all the other international festivals actually going on. Well, not all of them, but another handful of them, because there's a ton of them this weekend available at mynorthwest.com. And before we go to traffic, you don't need a Discover Pass for Smokey Bear's birthday on this, I believe it's Sunday. Yes, Sunday. You don't need a Discover Pass if you're looking to get out on the trails this weekend.
All right, all of that up on mynorthwest.com. Paul Holden, thank you.
Thanks, Charlie. Happy Friday.
And at 8:53, time to check in with Ted Beener. How's traffic?
Well, it's getting better. That's the key here. On southbound I-5 in Tacoma, we have a crash. It's in the Gore Point area, not blocking, and that's at the State Route 16 ramp. We've got slow traffic approaching the scene from the Tacoma Dome. Otherwise, traffic volumes are easing. There are some of the usual slowdowns, and they include northbound 405 from the Renton curves up to the VMAC. On northbound I-5, they were slowing from Albro into downtown, and from the north end, southbound I-5 slows from Northgate into downtown, and southbound 405 has got some braking from the Canyon Park area to 522. Drive times, Everett to Seattle Bellevue, both of those are between 40 and 45 minutes. Coming in from the south end, Federal Way to Seattle is just 28 minutes. 20 of those are from South Center. Puyallup to Renton, that has dropped to 33 minutes, and Renton to Bellevue is 22 minutes. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Ted Beener.
All right, Ted, thank you for filling in for Sully the past couple days. We're getting ready for his birthday tomorrow, so happy birthday, Sully, if you're listening.
He's going to be on the golf course again tomorrow.
I hope so. Will you be back in Monday?
Yes, I will.
Yeah, he's taking
an extended birthday weekend.
Good for him.
Yeah.
Well, he'll have some good weather for it, too, because today we're headed for a high of 86, kind of smoky, not as smoky as it has been. Tomorrow, a high in the mid-80s. We're calling it 83, 79 on Sunday. Right now in Seattle, it's smoky and 64. Coming up is the G and Ursula show here on KIRO News Radio. They're on from 9 to noon with a fresh Friday. New questions arising as families prepare for the school year.
Our inbox is always open for your news tips and story ideas at mynorthwest.com.
You're listening to KIRO News Radio on a Friday morning.
When you see this in your kitchen,
the stainless steel fridge is covered in fingerprints.
you hear this.
Leslie, people are going to think you were raised in a barn or by wolves, or raised in a barn by wolves.
Fortunately, Wyman Stainless Steel 3-in-1 cleans, shines, and protects to give you the best shine. A spray and a wipe will have your fridge shining like a mirror.
Wow, my fridge looks brand new. Your fridge looks amazing, Leslie. Sorry, I was being a little dramatic earlier.
Your kitchen says a lot about you. Let it brag with Wyman.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Insulation rebates from PSE are at historic highs. American Crawl Space and Pest Services gave over $3 million in PSE insulation rebates last year, more than any contractor in Washington. Homeowners, business owners, and PSE trust American Crawl Space and Pest Services. Was your home built before 1990? Visit AmericanCrawl.com to see how much you can save on replacing your insulation.
American Crawl, the heroes you call.
This is it. These are the nights. The ones where you laugh until you can't anymore. And smile until your head hits the pillow. Where everything feels just right. Because it is. Muckleshoot Casino Resort. Must be 21 and over. Please gamble responsibly.
Here it comes, possibly the biggest online midsummer auction anywhere of heavy equipment, trucks, tools, lumber, and much more. Presented by the Murphy Auction Company, bidding is underway now. Featured items include a 2020 Bobcat E32i excavator with less than 1,000 hours, a 2016 Freightliner 2100 Hydrovac truck, a 2011 John Deere 310J 4x4 backhoe, and much more. 10 excavators, 4 backhoes, 11 forklifts, 5 boom and scissor lifts, 5 rollers, 28 golf carts, and more than 60 heavy trucks. But wait, there's more. Attachments, roll-off boxes, shipping containers, contractor tools, lumber, and much more all go into the highest bidder. Preview all items August 11th and 12th, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. at our location in Marysville, 3803 136th Street Northeast. For pictures, catalogs, and all details, visit murphyauction.com. That's murphyauction.com. murphyauction.com.
Hey, I know something you probably haven't done in a while. Climb into your crawl space or your attic. Yeah, me neither. Mike Salk here. And most homeowners avoid those areas for good reason, but it's important to check on them regularly, especially here in the Northwest, where groundwater can wreak havoc and many homes lack the proper insulation in these spaces. So when it's hot in the summer, your house gets even hotter. And guess what? When it's cold in the winter, your house gets even colder because you don't have enough insulation. The good news, you don't have to crawl into those dingy areas because Crawl Pros will do it. They go where you don't want to. That's what they did at my house. They found a little rodent intrusion and they found the insulation problems. So yeah, they can help you get it all fixed just like they did with me. And if you need any work done, local utility companies offer rebates that could save you thousands on your project. Don't just assume that your crawl space and attic are in great condition. Do what I did. Call Crawl Pros today. Schedule a free corner-to-corner inspection at crawlpros.com.
Best Mortgage is proud to be the longest-running mortgage company on KIRO Radio. For 30